On tonight's episode of the Gamecasters, we talk about some hot new games we've been playing recently. We do another board game beatdown for you, and we end the show with our top 5 favorite designers. Stay tuned. Well, hello there, gamers, and welcome back to episode 49 of the Gamecasters, the show that begs the question, why? I've laid awake many a night wondering the same damn thing, and I always come to the same conclusion. I'm incredibly attracted to Lily Reinhardt. What? Most of my waking thought eventually gets derailed by hot people that I want to be friends with. So I'm sorry, everyone, but you won't get the answer to that friends question. No.
Okay.
She looks really nice.
Now, yeah, I really think
like
she would be fun to hang out with. Now for some awesome news. Natuklasan kona tayo ay ika labing isang pinakasikat na palatunang tungkol. Right?
Yep.
Sa paglalaro sa Pilipinas.
I can't even tell what language.
What was that last word? I think I know what he's
that?
trying to say.
Kaya na naman napagadesisuyan ng kong magasalita na lamang gamit ang wikang Pilipino hangang matapos ang taon bilang puganita dito sa magasayayayang panagyayari.
Are you trying to say that we're the number 11 podcast?
Jeff, sa tingri mo ba ika ay mas magaling sa akin? Parang mas bagay sa'yo ang gagong magnalaro ng magalarang kuto. Ikaw, Natalie, ang reyna ng mag-utat sa kanto ng utat. Ilang beses ka na umatat sa lubong isas oras.
Is this a review?
Utat nintero. It's almost over. Okay. At ako namang ang pinggagwapang punang abla ng podcast na ito ang poging si Ryan. Ako'y nasasabik na sambahin sa yuguto natin nigiyan. What I said loosely translates into,
Wow.
I just found out we are the 11th most popular gaming podcast in the Philippines, and to celebrate, I have decided to only speak in Filipino for the rest of that paragraph. So, Jeff, what have you been up to, man? Gosh, you're cool. How about you, Natalie? You're the prettiest person I know. I'm your most humble host, Ryan, the Humble, and I can't wait to spend the entire episode staying out of your way and letting you two shine. Shout out to our good buddy Zerjo for that translation, which is most definitely what I said.
Zerjo translated that for you?
Did you really say that? Or did you say something else and only Sergio's going to know what we said?
Google Translate?
I gotta message him.
What'd you say?
I'm messaging Sergio right now. I need to know what you said.
No, that was definitely what I said. Do you want to know what I really said?
That's not what you said?
It's the joke. Yeah, I kind of want it. Don't you want to know what he said?
Yeah.
All right, here's what I said.
I didn't know that's that.
I just found out that we are the 11th most popular gaming podcast in the Philippines, and to celebrate this momentous occasion, I've decided to only speak in Filipino for the remainder of the year. So, Jeff, you think you're better than me, huh? More like the jerk board gamer. How about you, Natalie, the fart queen of Fart Street? How many times have you farted in the last hour? Fart-teen? I'm your handsome host, Ryan the Handsome, and I can't wait to spend the entire episode worshiping me.
Fart. How many fart jokes? Why are those fart jokes?
I yelled at him last time for talking about farting.
I wouldn't talk about it so much if you wouldn't do it so much.
It's not true.
It's funny because it's true.
I like how podcast is podcast.
I know.
Wait,
there was a lot of words that he was like, I don't know how to translate fart-teen.
Wait, so you really were like, Sergio, can you translate this for me?
Yeah.
And you wrote fart-teen?
He was like, you're weird.
No, he was like,
okay, here you go.
He was kind of like, I can't wait to hear you read this.
Yeah. Yeah, because you probably didn't say what you think you said.
Oh, no, not even close. There was like, Maka sayang
couldn't
pangayari.
tell. You had a very American accent. When
Well,
you
he
were
told
saying
me, because I asked him, I was like, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this very well. And he told me, he's like, really, you just say it like you would say, he's like, it's basically you just say it like you're reading anything else. Yeah. Wow. And so I was like, okay, I got this. And I looked at it and I was like, what? Filipinas?
Yeah, I was like, that part caught my attention.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Man.
So that was the 11th most popular gaming podcast in the Philippines.
I think we're gonna have to take a trip to the Philippines.
Yeah, I think obviously
that should be the
celebrities.
11th country we go to.
Yeah, obviously celebrities. And I like to think of it as this is a gaming podcast, so I like to think that we're number 11 in board games and video games and computer games.
Yeah, all
anything
kinds of
game
games,
related. We
mind
are number
games.
11.
Good point.
Not just board gaming podcasts. We are gaming podcasts. And I would also like to think there's more than 11 that stream in the Philippines.
There's probably 12 people that stream. Yeah, and we're the 11th to 12. Who knows? Maybe there's a billion.
Yeah,
And we're the 11th. We're getting somewhere with this show.
Baby.
Man.
Which is everything I always
Apple
wanted for
Podcasts
us.
even reached out to tell you the great news.
Is that who I got the email from? Yeah, it was somebody
like-
reputable.
This is big news.
I thought it was like from the podcast.
I didn't read the rest of it, though. It was just like, LOL, just kidding.
No, it wasn't.
You could be, though, if
Yeah.
you do more work. So what's up, Jeff?
What's up?
How's it been going with you? Anything
been
new
going.
happening?
Trying to school's starting back up soon.
Right, yeah,
When does your school
gross.
start?
So we start
Tomorrow?
after Labor Day with,
do.
so we're the 8th with students, so class, but we're also not face-to-face to start with. Kids are going to start remote
back.
learning. Yeah. Yeah, they'll be back-to-back. We're facing the other way. Yeah. Yeah, the moon landing, butt to butt. So next week we have professional development. Devin starts with students on Tuesday.
That's crazy.
And again, but she's
remote, right?
remote. Yeah, so
With
what's
third
funny-
graders?
Yeah. Well, she has second grade.
Second
but yeah,
grade.
with even
how do you
with
do
first graders, kindergartners are doing this.
our kids
so
are
she's
remote. First
I know.
And third
Yeah.
grade.
I just don't know how the teachers are like expecting it
it's
to go.
yeah. Well, at the high school level, I can do a lot of stuff. It's just dumb. I'm going to go back for a second. There's these two words that are now the new education lingo. It's synchronous and asynchronous.
Okay.
So if you're a teacher out
These are
there
like
listening,
buzzwords?
I'm sorry that I'm saying this because you've hated
Heard
it
it a
forever.
1,000 times.
Synchronous learning is when you're doing it at the same time. So if I'm Zooming with my entire class and I'm teaching them, that's synchronous.
Okay.
If I'm doing it asynchronously, they're like watching the recorded version
Got
of
it.
me or whatever. Why they called it that and not just call it like in person and recorded or live and on
Right.
demand or
Face-to-face,
something.
back-to-back.
Yeah. Who knows? But so what was I talking about? What was the question?
It was something about me.
I can do this. So my kids can do the thing on their own. So I can just put
Yeah,
stuff
they're old
online
enough
and they can do
to-
things. Some of them are taking care of younger family members. So if they need to do the work at 5:00 p.m., they can do the work at 5:00 p.m.
And then
That's
you're
fine.
just like kind of
But-
around if her
yeah,
questions
right.
and stuff.
But Devin, she has some structure. So her kids have to show up on the Zoom meeting at 8:00.
Yeah, they're gonna need
and
more
she's
structure.
going to do a welcome and
Take attendance and
yeah,
do all
and
that
take
kind of stuff.
attendance and do activities with them face to face. So there's a lot more during the day work, and my work is kind of spread out through the day and planning things before the class period starts to then
And
upload
aren't you
it. And
actually
recording.
going to be in school?
Yeah, I'm going to be in my classroom 2 or 3 days out of the week. The other 2 days I can stay home and work from home. I still have to
Yeah.
obviously be a teacher at
Is
home.
Devin gonna
Yeah.
stay home?
Yeah, Devin, it's kind of funny. So I got my schedule and she got her schedule, and I'm like, all right, well, let's look. And our 3 days, 2 to 3 days a week, are the opposite. So she's
really?
home. She's
days
home,
you're at school?
Yeah, so she's home Tuesday, Thursday, and I'm at school Tuesday.
Well,
and
that's
Thursday,
kind of
Friday.
good, probably.
Yeah, it's good because we just might not get anything done. We
Yeah,
might just be
right.
like, we want to watch TV.
Right.
So
Want to go in the bedroom?
yeah, so
Because their
and
energy
it ended
is
up
just insatiable.
it might just end up being I might be there 4 days a week. Just
Yeah.
because it's easier to get
Can't
stuff done
know
in school.
Yeah.
what it's gonna be like because
Yeah.
you've never done this.
Right.
So it's
are you
crazy.
scared?
I don't think I'm scared. I'm just nervous for how things are going to go. Like, are my kids going to learn anything?
Right.
Are,
Well, scary. The unknown is scary.
Yeah.
Once it
Yeah.
gets
It's just so
started,
different.
you know,
It's so
Yeah.
different. It's just not what I ever wanted to do. Like, I don't want to do this. I
Yeah.
don't want to sit in front of a computer all day and, I would have done a different job, So,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's
Well, hopefully it's
really
temporary.
The hand you've been dealt, I guess,
I know.
right?
On a good note, Jack is starting to walk.
Ooh.
What?
Jack is my son.
Oh, we
He's
saw him walk
1 and
down
he's
the
like,
hallway with that little walker.
That was cute.
yeah. So now he's like
a tiny little
He
old
doesn't
man.
even have the walker. And he can just do it. So he's
What?
like getting a lot of
He
courage.
can just have it. He can just walk over it?
He just walk over it. So it's cool to see him like growing up, and like we've been home with him for the last 6 months.
You've gotten to literally
You got to see like everything,
Step.
crawling,
Yeah.
sitting, like all this kind of cool stuff. So now he's reached the final frontier of walking.
That's it. There's
And
nothing after
it's
that.
cool to like watch
done.
him and see him.
Yeah,
and
he's
just-
so
and he's so
happy all the
short.
time.
It's like funny seeing
Yeah.
this little tiny person walking around the house.
Yeah.
That's probably creepy.
Yeah.
What if it happened at like 2 in the morning?
He's like came out.
yeah. Hi, Dad.
How do you get out of this crib? Yeah. So that's really been.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
dude. That's
That's
cool.
going on.
Good to hear
What
about.
about you
Good to hear
guys?
about Jack Attack. Well, there is something we need to talk about that happened yesterday. That's going to make maybe Jeff create a new Instagram account called the Sad Board Gamer.
Yeah. Rub it in.
I'm sorry.
It's all
Natalie
right.
and I
It's
got
all right.
to hang out with the awesome Date Night Dicers. After months of talking about it, we finally got together with them. We made the trek. They're about an hour and a half out from our house, and we spent the day chatting, eating, gaming, eating, playing with their kids. eating, petting all the animals they have, eating, laughing, and most importantly, eating.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ate a lot.
Honestly, we expected to have a good time. I mean, but we didn't expect to feel like we had just made lifelong friends. Although we honestly really hoped that was happening. You know how people like to say, like, never meet your heroes because they never live up to your expectations? Well, that's a bunch of hokum nonsense because honestly, Ben and Emily are somehow more charming, more friendly, more hilarious, more welcoming, and more fun than they come across in their Instagram stories, which we all love, which is why we interviewed them so long ago. They're amazing parents, incredible hosts. They really just made you feel welcome and important, which I liked about that. It was easy. Hanging out with them never felt awkward or weird. It just felt like we were getting together with old friends, and that was just exciting, I thought. They were very eager to meet Jeff, and so we've already planned on them coming down to see us in the next few weeks so we can all spend some time together.
I can't wait to be the fifth wheel.
It's going to be fun. You're going to love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
Don't
excited.
think of yourself as a fifth. Think of yourself more as like a spare tire.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
need
The extra.
you. Yeah.
Just in
when I go
case.
to the bathroom, you
Yeah,
get
something.
Boom,
I can be like
you
a seat
pop on.
filler.
Yeah. We hung out with them all day and sincerely had an amazing time. We want to thank Ben and Emily for hosting and putting up with our shenanigans all day. So you might be, but probably aren't wondering what games we played with them. I brought an incredibly disproportionate amount of games over to their house when compared with our time limit, like only a good gamer would do. So we surprisingly played a lot more games than I
Because
thought.
we played a lot of little games, and we only played them for a short amount of time.
Yeah,
Or like played
we
them
could have
once and
played.
then-
Yeah, we played
Yeah.
it. Or like
We
so
played,
we
like,
started off
a
with
couple
Attraction.
rounds, yeah.
We played that once. Natalie won.
Was Richard Lonnie there or no?
He was there.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
Yep. He popped out of my bag and he was
Yep.
like, "I played this with you."
Yep.
And then went back. I'm like, "Get back in there, Richard Lonius. Go design some more games." And then Ben was like, "We got to play this again." And then Natalie won again.
You have to play
He's
it
like,
again.
"We got to play it again."
Yeah.
And so we played until he won.
Okay.
Which
He won
was
on the third
He won on the third try.
Right.
Yeah, which was really cool.
So we
And
played it 17 times.
No, it was really cool to see because you never know. I mean, those games I'm pretty sure that people are going to like those.
Yeah.
But it's really awesome to see someone who's never played a game like Attraction, which is literally just magnets.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what do I do? Because, like, there's a bunch of magnets, like, pick one up and throw it. What? Just throw it at other magnets. Okay. Then you do it, and it's like, oh.
Yeah,
And everybody's like, wow.
I remember like one point I had like a bunch of them and I set them down. He immediately like picked them up and was like inspecting them.
Yeah, he was like, these are cool.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff is always really awesome as the owner of the game that is really fun
Yeah.
to see someone do. But the icebreaker, so I wouldn't say we were nervous, but we were kind of nervous going there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
We're
it's
going-
They're
awkward. We're like-
celebrities.
yeah, right. We're going to hang out all day with these people we've seen a million times on TV, essentially, on our
Yeah.
phone.
We've never
And they're like one of the
met
first
you.
Instagram accounts I follow.
Yeah.
This might be like stalker. I had them clicked as one of the people, like I get notified when they make a post. That was like one of
Yeah.
the first people I
No,
clicked
that's
on to like
definitely
see.
stalkerish.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to know when they make a post because
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah,
and now it's
absolutely.
like, holy moly, like you guys met them.
even know
Well,
Maybe I
dude,
can meet
that
them
was the
soon.
weird thing. So we go to
Yeah.
their house, and I'm like, we've been here before.
I know,
But
it
we've
feels like we
never
know
been here
their
before.
house.
And I saw, we see like Ben's face, and I'm like, that's Ben. And there's Emily, and I'm like, it's weird. I'm face to face with you people.
Right.
Yeah.
I told
What do you mean,
Ryan.
you people?
Yeah. I told Ryan it's weird because like I don't post a lot of myself on Instagram or social media, so it's like they didn't maybe have any like expectation or idea of me, but like
Yeah.
I see their videos like every single day.
Every day.
And I see their house and I see their personalities. And
Yep.
so when you're there in person, it almost like at
was
first didn't
a
feel
shock.
real.
Yeah.
I was like, is this real? Am I seeing like I'm actually like a few feet apart from you?
This is the longest story
You guys
I've
are-
ever seen.
You guys are on their Instagram story.
Yeah,
now.
we made it
Yeah.
to the Instagram story. She's good, by the way. She's covert. We were leaving their house, and I was like, "Did Emily even do any recording?" And she's like, "I don't know." And then there's like 15
Yeah.
I know.
stories.
I was like, I thought I remember her like recording.
remember
Ben
signing a
couple
release.
times, you know. And then there was all these stories. I was like, wow, I didn't even realize that was
She's
happening.
good. She's good. But so what broke the ice? So we played Attraction first, and it was really fun. But you could still tell there was some like we're just
A little bit awkward.
yeah, a little more like jitters. I feel like
Right.
we don't know how each other is. And then we
Right.
played Happy Salmon, and I'm telling you, nothing gets those jitters out of the way than feverishly slapping forearms
Yeah.
with people you
Yeah.
haven't met before.
wagging your arm back.
Yeah.
and forth.
Ben and I like bruised each other's fists. The first time while we were like did the pound it because we were just like you're so amped up in that game you're all
yeah.
standing up you
Yeah.
can't talk and you see someone with their fist and you like go forward and we're like boom we're both like
You're like,
ow but so that completely I feel like after our first round of that we all just kind of like went
Yeah.
and then it was
cool.
just from then on out it was super awesome so we played Attraction and then we played Happy Salmon. And then we played Red 7.
Yep.
I like that game.
Which I think Ben really,
Yeah, it's a
really
great game.
enjoyed.
Yeah, it's
and then we broke for about 4 hours and just kind of hung out.
Then by that time the kids warmed up to us a little and actually started talking to us because at first they were like really shy. And so then we were like took advantage of
They're
that.
so cute, man.
Yeah.
Those kids were so
like,
cute.
We're like, oh, they want to talk to us. Okay, let's like engage with
Yeah,
them.
I was like
And,
playing with
you know.
their youngest son, Calvin, and we were like swords, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
we
he
were
had a bunch
petting
of
the
weapons he was
kitties
playing.
and
Yeah, and then those cats were so cute and they hated me.
Yeah, I was surprised I
so
didn't come
cute.
home or come over and you had one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
tried many times to put that cat in one of my pockets because they're so small they could
my
fit in my
gosh, they're
pocket,
small.
and they just ran away from me every time.
Yeah, they ran away.
They were really cute.
Yeah, they ran away.
Yeah, they were really cute. So then after that, we
We
played
tried to play medium. We
Yeah,
played one round of medium where
could not get
all
through it.
4 teams got 0 points.
0. We were
And then-
so bad.
And then we ended up just talking for a while, you know, because this was the first time we ever met each other. So
Yeah.
we were just
Yeah, just getting to know
each
them a
other
little
and
bit.
talking, telling stories and stuff like that. And then suddenly it's dinner time.
Yeah. And then after dinner, we played a game that I will talk about later. And then we played Istanbul,
What a
which
great
they had
game,
never played,
right?
which
What a
I
great
thought.
game. Did
I
you
was-
just play just the base?
We just
Yeah.
played base. Yeah, just
Good
the
idea.
base game. And they loved it. So we're in the second turn of the game.
Yeah, we barely started, and Ben was like, "I already want to play this again." And I was
Yeah.
In turn two.
awesome.
And at first I was like, oh, does he feel like he's not doing well? He must have to play it over. But I think he meant
like, I already know.
I already
Yeah.
loved it. Because
Like,
he did
let's
kept-
finish this and play it again.
Yeah, he did keep
Yeah.
saying, he was like, this is really good.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, man, this is, to me, that seems like, if you know Date Night Dice and watch all their stories and stuff, they like games like Orleans and Tapestry and
Everdell.
which are all that kind of weight. And I'm like, man, Istanbul
perfect.
is
Yeah, 'cause
the game for that.
Istanbul's probably like the heaviest game we brought. We brought a lot of light stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, first time you want to
We
just
didn't know how it's
hang
gonna
out,
go.
right?
And Ben's got 100 plus.
Yeah,
games.
Ben's got a bunch of games too. So
Yeah.
we had then played Code 777, and Ben basically played that one by himself.
Oh my gosh, we all just kept guessing wrong.
Me,
except
Natalie, and Emily were just like, "Is it this? Nope. Is it this? Nope."
We're like, we're
I didn't
so
get one.
Guys, so bad at
I
it.
don't
What happened?
know.
I got one at the
I'm
last
Someone
usually
lying?
good at that
Yeah.
game. That's what
Maybe
I
they were
said.
lying to
I
you.
even had a dream that I was like, Natalie lied, and then she told me afterward, like, I think I messed up a question. Of course you did.
I didn't. Although I thought somebody messed up a question too at one point.
Oh,
but I
probably
think I
me.
just was really bad at it.
Yeah, me too. It was terrible.
That's all
Ben got like got 3 immediately, killed us. It was so fun.
It was-
And then we ended with a little bit more medium, and
Yeah.
it was a great time. I can't wait to see
very
them again. It's going to be in the next couple weeks, I think. They'll
I'm
come
excited.
down here.
I'll
Yeah,
definitely free up my day.
for sure. We'll
Just
hang out
Saturday
with
just
the Mad
didn't
Board
work, yeah.
Gamer. Yeah.
Make sure every Saturday in September.
I know. I got to clear out every
Oh, and
Saturday.
it's really funny. Ben had said that he never refers to Jeff other than Jeff the Mad Board Gamer.
yeah, it's funny.
Oh my gosh, can we tell them something else funny there?
No. So let's talk about games we played.
we were there. I think we were like hanging out with the kids or something, and one of their older daughter was like kind of like
Liv?
freaking out a little bit because one of those big mosquito eaters was in the house. And
Oh,
she's
this
like,
is-
"Dude,
oh, yeah.
this
This is
mosquito
really
eater is in there. It's really gross." And then a little while later, she's like, "I named that Jeff."
Okay,
You were there, bro.
Thanks.
You were
for-
there.
And we
Yeah.
were all like, "Oh my god,
Yep,
that's so
Jeff's here.
funny."
Yeah. Oh, I became a mosquito.
You were doing
eater.
good. You were killing mosquitoes, which is
Okay.
like one of the
Fine,
greatest
Good
things
job.
ever.
Good job, Jeff.
No, it was one of those meetings where I truly felt like we are now lifelong friends. And they're just part of the group.
Yeah,
So
cool.
they're going to come down here
Yeah.
and it's going to be, you're going to love them.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Well,
They're
we
so
figured.
great.
I mean, we got along with them and really enjoyed all the times we've spoken to them. We've messaged them. We've
had them on the
podcast,
show
we've
for crying out
Yeah.
loud.
them.
You
You could
Twice.
just tell that. Yeah, they're cool people.
and they're doing an interview with Sheer Boredom.
Oh, on Tuesday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look out for that. Look out for Date Night Dice on the Sheer Boredom Instagram account, which the Gamecasters have done an interview with him as well. He actually even just
2 weeks
interviewed
ago.
Jamie Stegmeyer.
Yeah, he's done some bigger interviews.
Yeah.
recently,
So good job.
He's stepped on us to move up to better.
Yeah, he did.
people.
Yeah, he launching padded off of us, and now
Yeah.
he's doing stuff like Date Night Dice. And oh, jeez, what's his name again? The sheer board games guy,
Robert?
Roberto.
Yes.
Great
Yeah.
guy, super nice, awesome. If you're looking to be interviewed, reach out to Sheer Boredom.
Yes.
right, good stuff. So, all right, there's some main event stuff we got to talk about. Our own Jeffrey the Mad Board Gamer has gotten one of maybe the hottest games of the year played.
Boom.
You want to talk about that, bro?
Hot.
Yep.
Hot.
Jeff the
Ow.
mosquito eater.
Jeff the mosquito eater.
Jeff the mosquito eater gamer is here to talk about a game. Talk about a game. Oh boy. Bzz. Bees.
Beads.
Oh, I do have to report that my games are now back to being stored vertically. Just so you know.
Yeah.
They're back.
All right.
Here's
Good.
why. I just took
Wait a
some
minute.
games
Were they
out and
not
put them downstairs.
vertically for a
Remember
while?
I told you that I had to...
mix and match?
Oh, you did a halves.
I had to do halvesies. So I got rid of the halvesies. I basically moved some games downstairs into a shelf in the basement.
You remember that joke on The Office where like Andy's trying to be friends with Dwight? He pulls out this like giant like candy bar and he's like, halvesies? And Dwight grabs it and he's like, no, holesies. All right, man, go ahead. So what do you got
Anyway.
vertically stored?
Yeah, they're all vertical now.
You said you put some in the basement.
I put
the
some in
way
the
God
basement.
intended.
I told them as I moved them down to the basement, I'm like, it's not because I don't love you. It's because you're weirdly shaped, and I moved you downstairs. They're like huge boxes, like
That's
flying
great for
sushi
image of
kitchen and stuff like that. That just needs to go downstairs.
Weirdly shaped ones go.
Yeah.
Get put away in
The weirdly
storage.
shaped ones are
What are we saying to
downstairs.
society?
Yeah. Anyway, maybe they're
If
all
you're weirdly
together.
shaped, get in the basement.
It's not like
Won't
there's
be
just
displayed
one.
if you're weirdly shaped.
Yeah, they're displayed just in the basement.
Those are the money beats.
They're on a shelf just in the basement.
Beat Farming 101. You put the best beats up front. The money beats. There's going to be a lot of office jokes in this episode.
I guess so.
I played a game.
Okay, what do you got, man?
Okay, I played a game called Pendulum.
Oh.
Pendulum is, yeah, that's the proper response. So I got a review copy of Pendulum, and I was pumped to get to the table because there's buzz. You know, there's
Yeah.
buzz
So
about
much
buzz.
buzz. I see like
about
people
Pendulum.
constantly like, I got pendulum. I got
I know.
pendulum.
Yeah,
It's
I
one of those
want
ones that
Pendulum.
when people get it, there's even just a post of people opening the box.
Yeah.
Like the shipping box to see the game on
Like,
the inside.
"Ah."
And it's weird because a lot of these Stonemaier games are just so like polarizing to people. Like you go on anytime even that Stonemaier announces a game, you go on a Board Game Geek and it already has
Hate.
and
Or-
10 out of 10.
yeah, the most,
There's like
right.
15 1 out of 10s and 10 10 out of 10s and people just write, "Oh, I'm rating it a 1 to cancel out the 10s," or "I'm rating it a 10 to cancel out the 1." And it's such a joke.
Yeah,
And
like,
it's so
why?
annoying.
It's
so
annoying.
this game
Well, I think I know
took
why.
shots
I do think I know
already
why.
before it was even out.
Agreed.
Before anyone even
Yeah.
got the game, the thing was rated like a 6 on Board Game Geek.
Which is the
before
same.
it was even out.
The same thing that happened to Tapestry. Same thing
Yep.
that happened to Scythe.
You think it happens more?
Same
with
didn't happen to
these?
Wingspan.
With-
I think it happens to his
it
company.
happens to his company most of all.
So part of me was a little annoyed with this one because I know that there are like Jamie haters out there, and I know that he, and he's even come front and said he shouldn't have said some things on Twitter and shouldn't have posted some stuff, and people
is it
are
that
very
kind of
polarizing on him. But this isn't even a
only that.
Jamie game. This isn't a Stegmaier his game.
Yeah.
So
Right, like Tapestry, he designed it.
Tapestry's his
Oh,
game.
He didn't design this one.
No, he didn't design it. So this is designed by Travis Jones. So this is his first game on
He's a
Board Game
newbie.
Geek. Yeah, and
I'm
so from
sorry.
what I was
I'm,
reading-
like,
That's right.
Not,
All right, Jamie Stegmaier owns the company,
Okay.
Stonemaier Games. Okay,
Yeah.
a lot of the games that come out, like Viticulture and
Yeah.
Tapestry, and I don't know if he designed
so
Scythe.
Stonemaier.
Those are and
publisher?
Charterstone. Those are his designs that he uses his publishing company to
Okay.
publish.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of games like Wingspan and
Okay.
Between Two Cities,
Between
is
Two
not
Cities
his.
that he doesn't design, but he publishes.
Okay.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Okay, I get it. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this Pendulum is one of those.
So whenever they have the Stonemaier thing on it, or like published by him, it gets great attention, but also in both positive and
Well, I
negative
think
ways.
that's why anything that gets like so much attention is gonna inherently have haters.
Yeah.
For no stupid reason other than their
Right.
You know.
So if this came out as an AEG game or if this came out as a Renegade game, it would have gotten normal buzz with not these crazy ratings that people put up.
Yeah.
So anyway, designed by Travis
Agreed.
Jones, it's his first game on BGG. I've
Awesome.
read when I was reading a little bit about Pendulum before I got it. It was a very highly ranked game through all of their playtesting, like one of the top ranked games that Stonemaier had through all their playtesting. So I was pumped to get to the table, and I got at the table during my brother's it wasn't his 24-hour event, but his extra life event where he raised I think $400, close to
$400 in that 6 hour time.
in that 6 hour time. So that was really great. Gave away some great games, but we got to play
I
Pendulum.
got one.
Yeah, Ryan got. You know what he got?
Zombie Kids.
Yeah, I
Zombie
did.
Kids.
The one he
Just in
wanted.
time for Zombie
So bad.
Teens.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Is that geared towards teenagers?
I don't know. It's
Okay.
Zombie Tweens. No, yeah. So Pendulum is a real-time worker placement game with real timers.
Hey.
For 1 to 5 people. I don't know about the one player. I don't play one player a ton. I've heard mixed things about the solo, but like most Stonemaier games, they have that autonoma,
Yep.
which is really great for people who do play by themselves, that you can play a game by yourself like this. So In Pendulum, players are competing against each other to be the new ruler of a place called Dunya.
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 Sounds like a real Munson.
D-U-N-A. D-U-N-Y-A.
Well, you want that one? No, I've done you already. Have you done it?
Okay.
That's what I do.
You do this. Pop it.
Fuck it. Suck it.
You do this by advancing on 4 major tracks that are located
Wait, no, this
on
is
your...
Tapestry.
Yeah. 4 major tracks that are located on your player board.
All right. Okay, that's different. Yeah.
The tracks are red, yellow, blue, and gray. They are...
Man, the theme is
They
oozing.
have, they have like their P's: popularity, power, prestige, and
Penis.
and gray.
Okay.
Right.
So players use actual sand timers to manage workers in 3 major areas of the board.
Okay.
Okay. And each of the zones, so each of the 3 zones have 2 rows. So can you picture 2 rows in 3 different zones?
Okay. So 6 rows.
Good so far. 6 total rows.
Got it. I can do math.
Throughout the thing. Yeah. Math is sweet.
Numbers.
So the timers can only be placed on one of the rows in each of the areas.
Got it.
So when you flip a timer, you flip it to the other row in that same area. So the purple area, it goes from the top row to the second row.
You can't flip it on the same row?
Right.
Okay. So it'll just flip back and forth all game.
You'll flip back and forth between the rows. Right.
Okay.
I know.
And when a timer is on that row, any workers that was placed in that row can execute those actions if they want.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then any worker that is on a row that doesn't have a timer, you can move throughout. So I can take it from a spot that doesn't have a timer and put it on another area of the board that also doesn't have a timer
Can you
on it.
flip the timer before it runs out?
No.
Okay.
And you and then on your turn, so you're moving your workers, and by turn I mean everyone's taking their turn
it's
at
like
the
a
same
free-for-all,
time. It's a
right?
free for all. So while you're taking turns, I can move my workers from areas that don't have timers. I can execute my actions from areas that do have timers. So there might be I might take an action that takes 10 seconds. You know, I might take a couple resources, and my guy is now frozen there until the timer runs out. Oh. Because I can't move him yet because the timer.
And how
still
long
on
are the
row.
timers?
So the timers are 3 different times. So one is 45 seconds on one zone. One is 2 minutes on one zone, and one is 3 minutes on another.
And that's static?
Yeah.
Those zones always have that timer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm assuming there's some sort of it's got to be play tested that these actions, the
Right.
3 minute
Just take
actions,
longer.
maybe are more important.
Got it.
They come with more, so you can only do
More
them
thought
every.
or something.
Yeah, so you can only do them every 3 minutes instead
Well,
of
yeah,
every
because
45
you make an
seconds.
action and you're waiting a lot longer before you
Yeah.
can do it again.
Yeah.
So while I'm moving my workers, I can also, if a timer runs out, I can flip a timer. So maybe I now move my worker, that timer runs out. Cool, I'm going to flip this timer to the other row because I have a worker there. Now I can execute my action. So can everybody else.
So
So,
if
wait.
nobody else has a worker there, they wouldn't want to flip
They
the
might
timer.
not flip it, right?
Oh, so they just leave it run out.
They might just leave it. Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
leave that
it
time
only
for it
helps
just sat
Jeff,
there.
then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to take my time to then flip it.
Okay.
Or you might want to flip a timer because I need to get this timer out of this row so I can move my worker to a different row.
Okay.
Right.
So what are you doing?
So everybody's
So-
at the same time either moving people or taking action.
Yes.
And then flipping timers as they run out.
Yep.
That's like,
So-
it's like sounds
yeah.
chaotic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, I was watching it on
the round
on
runs
the thing,
out.
and it looked
Yeah. So
chaotic.
you play 4 rounds. The round runs out when the purple timer, which is the longer one, flips 3 times essentially. So
Okay.
it goes back and forth. There's a little tracker that kicks off one of the markers, and once all the markers are done, that round ends. And you stop the round, and anybody can take any legal actions they want once the round is over at their own pace. So, all right, now
okay,
there's
cool.
a timer there. I can now take my actions. But throughout the round, obviously, you're moving very quickly.
Sure.
But once the round ends, it says, all right, end of the round, do all legal actions. You can move things around that's, again, legal, or take the actions where there's timers.
Okay.
And then there's like a council phase. So you count up these votes that you get throughout the round, which is one of the resources you can get these votes. And you get something special at the end of the round, depending on how many votes you have.
Okay.
So a cool card that gives you more something, and then you get to move up on the tracks more. So if you have more votes, you get to move up on the tracks, and you get this cool card that gives you something special. Mm-hmm. And so all the actions are basically to try to gather these 3 different types of resources that match 3 of the 4 tracks, which is like power, prestige, and whatever the other one I said was gray. No, power, prestige, and popularity. Okay. And you're spending those resource tokens to try to move up on those tracks. So I'm getting the resources to then spend them somewhere to move up the tracks. And my goal is to move all of those tracks into this area of the board that's like just darkened. So you want to move those tracks up into that area.
Okay. Yep.
So
okay.
the person who does that after 4 rounds wins. So if you are the only person to move all your 4 tracks into that gray area, into the darkened area, you win. If you're the only one that does that, you win. If there's multiple people that do it, it's just whoever is further. So whoever has more,
whoever's
Yeah.
gone
into
farthest.
the gray
Yeah,
area.
sure.
Which we had.
That sounds fun.
It does sound fun.
Yeah, it was a lot. So for me explaining it, when you just say like we're just gonna be doing stuff all at the same time, it's like, holy shit, are you serious?
Yeah, right.
Sounds like
it
how?
sounds super hectic, and I think I expected it to be really chaotic and really hectic.
Like you're like reaching
And
over
it-
each other and
yeah.
like get out of my way.
And it didn't feel that way when I
Okay.
played, which I liked.
Looking at it, watching it from the video, it looked fun. It didn't look frustrating. Like I was watching Dave and he's like doing this and he's like reaching over here, but Jeff wasn't in his way when he did that. And, it seemed like everybody could kind of do what they wanted to. You're just all doing it at the same time.
Yeah, you're all just doing it at the same time.
Did you play with 3 people?
3. Yeah. And that number scene, and obviously it goes to 5. So I think with 5, there's more arms, obviously, and more
Right.
of that. But I don't know if I necessarily even saw what Joe and Dave were doing, what the other players were doing, because I was
that a
focused
problem?
on mine. I'll get there.
Okay.
That's one thing I would say. But that also means, like, if there's 2 more people, am I going to notice 2 more people also doing things? Because I'm focused on my own workers.
Right.
I might hit a hand every once in a while, or you might both reach for the timer at the same time.
My bones.
Yeah. Ooh, my bones. Ow.
Did that hurt? You
a
don't
little?
have like downtime to watch other people. You're
Yeah.
just the whole
You're just-
time playing.
Yeah, you're just going. And I had fun doing that. I had fun thinking about, okay, I can do this. I can do this action on the 45-second timer twice before that 2-minute timer runs out.
Right,
So
time
now I'm
all
like,
3 of
let
them
me
together.
do these quickly, and then by the time this timer flips, I can move
That
this
one's
worker
gone.
up to the
That's
to the
cool.
2-minute timer, so then I can take that action.
But the
really
thing
quick.
is, you don't really know, right? Because they're sand timers, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you don't technically know how much time
Right,
you have
you're just
left.
kind of like
You're
looking.
just gauging
guesstimating.
it,
Yeah.
Does that you think that's more fun than if there was like digital timers?
Yeah.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you see, like, okay, you could calculate it.
Sometimes
too
you're probably
easily.
like sitting there like it's about to run out. Why is it taking so long?
Yeah,
why isn't it running out?
Yeah, and there
I
were
could have done 5
moments-
other things.
And there were moments that felt like we were moving everything around. Then there are moments where you're like, okay, I need to sit and I need to look at this really quick. Like, I need to sit here for 10 seconds, wait for that timer to run out, so then I can execute the 3 things I want to.
Yeah.
So there were times where I wasn't doing anything waiting, and maybe Joe and Dave were doing something, or were there times where I was doing something and they weren't because my guys were on empty rows, so I could
Yeah.
move them around,
Yeah,
or they
yeah.
finished their actions very quickly. And I had a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
I
sounds
think
fun.
the next game night I'm picking it. So
Oh,
to play
cool.
it with 4.
Good. You want? Yeah, you got to see how
Do
it
you
is
think
before.
that
Yeah.
it would be fun with 2?
I don't know. I've
I
heard
wonder.
so
Would it be
I
too
know
easy?
that Jim Gamer on Instagram has been playing it a lot.
Okay.
And I want to say that he's played a lot with 2, and he's also said that he's really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Oh,
So
good.
I might just try it with Devin, because it is something that it takes an hour. It took an hour and a half with rule explanation and the 3 of us, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
And I think with Devin and I, it would take shorter period of time.
I'm really interested in that too. If you could do that at
Yeah.
some point, because it sounds like Natalie wants me to buy this right now, right? That's what you said, didn't you?
I
You said
heard it.
I heard it.
Yeah,
too.
I heard it. I thought you whispered click, 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 click. So let me tell you some stuff that I really liked about it. So the production quality is obviously just through the roof.
Amazing.
The art is super cool. And for all you can say about Jamie is very, very good at getting news out there on his games and
Marketing,
getting hype and
producing.
marketing and just like
That's what's polarizing, I think, honestly.
a couple months ago he put like a blurry, it like looked like bad board game cover, put a blurry picture of the cover, and people were like, holy shit,
What is
I need
that?
this game. They just like lost their mind. And then it's like, and then there's like, oh, here's this tiny picture on the board, let me show you this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah. So it got me pumped up.
Yeah.
The art is super cool.
suspense.
And everything,
Yeah, he's
like
great at that.
the player boards have that same feel that, you know, almost
Yeah, like the
that,
linen finish.
yes. So it had, and that's so cool. That helps the things from like, they don't slide around on the board.
Yeah.
So that was really great. I've heard one thing about it playing with one person. Someone was like, I played it by myself and I was just waiting for timers to run out sometimes. I'm like, all right, well, I don't play with
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, right.
So
could see that,
I thought the player interaction was pretty cool, because even though you're doing things at the same time, there are spots that get blocked. So if I move my worker there and I sit him there, you can't then put a worker there. There are
Right.
there
Okay,
are like
cool.
there's 2 types of workers. There's a small worker and a big worker. The big workers can pretty much go anywhere, but the small workers can't. So these small workers go there. If a big worker's there, a small worker can't go there. So it's like, oh man, I wanted to go there. And there's also maybe some strategy of like, maybe I don't execute that action right away because I know that Joe wants to do it and he's going to do something. So maybe you can keep a guy there. We didn't really do a lot of that because I put a guy there. I want to do the
Right,
action
of course.
and
yeah.
move him.
Yeah.
But there's also then, I'm trying to pay attention to so many workers. I might not know that a timer needs to get flipped. So, but Ryan's like waiting for the timer. If Ryan sees that timer, he's going to flip it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, man, I didn't get to execute that action or whatever. So there's a little bit of that, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with me forgetting about my worker or not.
Right, and then someone else capitalizes
Yeah, and then
on what
someone
they
does.
need to do.
That's fine. It's not like anybody. There was never anybody taking
like
anything
the game.
from me. Yeah, there was never anybody taking something from me.
Sure.
Like, hey Jeff, now I get to take 2 of your cards. Or I get to take this. And like, all
that's
right,
always the
it
worst.
wasn't that. It was just, it's like tactical moves that people are sometimes where you need to be.
Yeah,
and I think that's
you
really
can't
normal.
get upset about those for sure.
The player boards are cool because on the back side of the player board, if you can play the advanced mode. Everybody gets a special power. Everybody gets special cards to play. So that then enhances kind of
you gotta do that for
base game.
If you do game night, you gotta do that.
Yeah, because we've all played it once, and Bill is he'll pick up on that stuff so easy.
Well, don't even tell him there's another way, and he'll think
Yeah,
that's
we'll
the only way
just
to do
do it. Yeah. So I would say maybe a couple dislikes. The actions themselves are not like the most exciting things. Like, and I think part of it is because the timers make the actions exciting.
Of course.
Right.
The timers, oh my God, let me take these 3 resources. Doing that is exciting because you're trying to do it in a period of time.
In the time you can.
Versus like an action of let me go here and take a couple resources, and if we just went in circles doing stuff like that, it might not be exciting.
Yeah, right.
So, but I think the timers helps that. You also, like Natalie said, you have to trust that people are also following the rules. In a game that's
you can't police.
Yeah,
right.
but in a game that's like that, there's going to be like mix-ups, and I think you just fix it.
Accidental cheating.
You think about, and I don't think anybody did it on purpose. We had one time where we had 2 little workers in the same box, and you couldn't do that. And we're like, who was there first? We don't know because we were just playing. But that happens in games. Like, remember the game Escape, where you're just rolling dice over and over again? Everybody probably has mistakenly moved into a room or whatever.
Or taken one of those you have to hold and re-rolled it.
Yeah, and just done it because you're working so chaotically. But I'm really excited to just kind of play the game more and play the different advanced modes because each then character is different. You're playing it very differently. The tracks also change lengths for different characters. So I might be focused on the red one versus the yellow one in this one. I'm excited to kind of see where the game takes me.
What would you say is the weight of the game?
It's light.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to say because you're doing everything so fast.
Yeah.
But like the rules are very easy to explain, and I think the game. If I had to put it in like a BGG thing, like that 2.5, like
does it feel like a novelty? I guess when I say that, like Escape. I loved that game the first 10 times I played it, and then I don't care if I ever play that again in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
it's fun because it's like new. And
it's a novelty. Once the novelty wears off, I'm rolling 100 dice over in order to move through rooms, which is after a while, it's just not as fun because I've seen it before.
Yeah.
Does this game suffer from that?
I don't know. Sure. I think maybe in 3 or 4 more plays, I could be like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Timers are cool. Will this mechanism of timers and simultaneous play lead to some other really great game?
Yeah.
There's
this is like an open.
Remember all the buzz around like the card crafting and Mystic Veil and custom heroes, like cool things. And now it's like, what's the next big game that's going to do that? That's going to make me really excited about it. So I would say maybe.
Okay.
I could see it going, all right, I get the timer. I know now what to do. It could be a game where you figure out a pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then pattern, then it's like, all right, I'm going to win every time.
Like, figured it out.
Is it expandable?
I would say characters are easy to expand. Each character gets a set of cards, and those cards you can play during the timed phase.
Oh, and they're all
you can
different?
Just play. They're different on the advanced mode. So you can play that kind of give you a different power. So that's easy to do.
So I guess the
I would say
modification.
Could there be like another satellite board that has like another timer?
Because for how hectic that the game sounds, it wasn't as hectic. You throw another timer in there, I think it could add a new cool thing.
Yeah.
Just like
right, like a Skullport expansion.
Else to think about.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a Skullport expansion that does something awesome but hurts you. You know what I mean? Just some. Yeah, I wonder if there's ways to make it last.
If it gets,
right, because what you said about the actions aren't maybe super exciting but the fun is the franticness. I wonder if that will wear off.
Yeah,
and then you're left with not so exciting.
Cool. The 3 of us will play it soon.
Yeah,
and I think that it's one of those games when Ben and Emily come down, it plays 5.
Perfect.
I think we could play it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think they got it, didn't they?
They did.
They did.
Yep,
so
they did.
Bring their copy. No, I'm sure. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so that's Pendulum. And
sweet, man.
Yeah, I would check it out. Maybe read some reviews. I know because some people like to think a lot about actions and like to think over these games. It's not a game where you're just going to have to.
Yeah, it's just a fun romp.
So you just go and you play it, but read some reviews about it. If it sounds like something you like, I would get it.
Awesome, dude.
Stonemaier, I just like him like a
I know
groupie
it's just
sometimes.
Yeah, well it's funny when there's a couple games I played of theirs. Scythe I didn't love, And I'm trying to
I
think
know
of
viticulture, you were a little cool on
the very first time I played viticulture, I was like,
Yeah. I just told him today I want to play that.
And so, but the second time I played it, viticulture, I was like, oh, I think I like this more. And then you guys all know how I feel about Euphoria.
Oh man, that's so
and I
good.
love Tapestry. No, I ended up getting rid of it.
I'll get it to you because you're gonna have to play viticulture with the expansion.
I want
to.
Yeah.
Play it.
Yeah, so the first time I played viticulture, it was just base viticulture. And I played with Tuscany the second time. Well, I played with the Essential Edition the second time, which added in at least like the mamas and the papas and stuff like that, which you need.
The mamas and the papas.
The mamas and but yeah, so there was a lot of the papasas. Yes, there was a lot of California dreaming going on.
Yeah. So Pendulum,
that's
Pendulum.
Cool. Pendulum.
Nice.
So about a year or so ago, I went on a bender. Only my bender wasn't getting trashed at 3 p.m. every day or hitting the town looking for ladies. My bender was confined to the pointer finger of my right hand. Gross. On the website where money goes to die, Kickstarter. Yeah. I clicked on everything I saw faster and with more purpose than the Guinness World Record channel changer. I was a madman. Well, the labor of my bender has finally started being squeezed out with no epidural, and my first baby was named Calico.
Calico.
In Calico, you are stitching together a quilt filled with various colors and patterns. It's so nice and comfy that if you make it desirable enough, you'll attract little kitties to come and lay on it. You use the cutest little buttons to adorn the quilt and just prance along like a hand-holding Teletubby with nothing to get in the way of your laziness and happiness. But that's where the good times end, my friend, because this is not some nice, sleepy, easygoing romp on the hillside picking flowers and laying in the sun. No, this is a maelstrom of fire and brimstone to your brain, while Gru is there with his freeze ray, stopping you in your tracks as you panic and toil over every single tile. Freeze ray! The game is so incredibly challenging and AP-inducing that we are still playing our third turn of the first game that we started last week. All right, in this game, you have different hexes that you are playing onto your player board to create patterns to score points. You score points in 3 different ways. If you combine 3 or more tiles of the same color that are adjacent to each other, you score points that way. If you can string together patterns of tiles with the same pattern on them, you will attract those kitties I talked about to your quilt to score you more points. And then there are these 3 tiles that are on your player board that have requirements on them of both color and pattern that must be followed precisely and synergistically, if that's a word, to score points that way. Only the problem is what you do with your current tile. What do you do with your current tile? You only have 2 choices of tiles to play each turn, and neither of them ever feel clear. No. Do I place this here to get my 3rd color in a row to get some points? Ugh, but if I do that, I'm blocking this pattern from being completed, which means I won't get the cat points, and oh my god, if I do that, I'll be forcing myself to go for this color and pattern to satisfy the tiles on my board. Literally every placement feels important.
And
every
the board
placement
is not that big, so you don't have
it's
a lot
tiny.
of throwaway
So a
areas.
mistake early can cost you the entire game. It's that tight, it's that tense, it's that crazy, like a toiger. All right, things I like.
Toy.
Yeah, well, I said toit earlier. I just followed the toy grab after crazy. Yeah. Things I liked. This game is fucking gorgeous. Beth Sobel, one of the great board game artists working today, who was one of the artists on Wingspan. She did the art for viticulture, stuff like that. She did the artwork for this game, and it looks insatiable. You'll want to cuddle up to the components after a hard day's work. The art is first rate. The component quality itself is also superb. It just feels great to handle the tiles and put them on your board. Your player board is like double layered.
Oh, nice.
But it's super thick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like really thick component, double layered, dual layered boards. Everything is top notch there, and I love it. The difficulty in this game can scale pretty easily. So if you want like a friendlier game, you can do that, because this game, it looks, if you saw that on the shelf, you would think like, I'm going to play this with my mom.
Nice, cute family game.
No way, no. No, it's no.
No, it's no.
But if you take those 3 tiles I talked about on your player board, you can just flip those upside down. And now you don't have to worry about that scoring method. You're only now focusing on stringing colors and patterns together. The game goes from being the crunchiest game in the world to just being a more family-friendly, easier game. With now those 3 tiles in the middle are just obstacles that you have to work around. So you can only just play with those 2 if you want to. So things that I didn't really like. Unfortunately, there are some negatives, some pretty big negatives, I think, actually, that really showed themselves, especially in our second play.
Yeah.
This game
when we played with the more advanced
needs more ways to mitigate the incredible amount of randomness. There is so much randomness in this game, and it hurts it mightily, that I think with a couple of tweaks could be completely mitigated.
Because you're drawing tiles, right?
So here's what it is. So you start the game with 2 tiles. You get 2. Okay. On your turn, you have to play one of those 2. But like I said before, your board, and Natalie mentioned, your board is so tiny. Every placement is so important because there are 6 colors and there are 6 patterns and there's 3 different ways that you have to score these things, and you have to kind of like, it's got to be perfect to pull it off.
Oh yeah, like you're not going to score like the highest amount of points on all 3 things because it's too random to pull what you need to pull to make that happen.
And so then there's only 3 tiles that come out on the face up on the board that you get to reseed your hand with after you play one. So basically I have 2 tiles, I play a tile. Then my turn ends and I pick one of those of the 3. Those tiles, there's 3 of them that are face up, are literally never what you want. Never. Yep. And then your next turn, you have 2 tiles that you don't want or can't use, and so you're forced to hurt yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And so there's literally 0 way to mitigate that. You can't mitigate that at all. There's no, okay. So, at the beginning of the game, you see, okay, there's 2 green tiles with the same pattern. And you're like, okay, that's where I'm going to start. Because that's all you have to go off of. You have nothing to go off of. So you're like, okay, I'm going to start there. I got these 2 green tiles, this pattern, that's going to help these things. Well, the entire rest of the game, you might literally never see that tile again. And so you have to pivot. And it's okay. Pivoting is fine. But then you pivot and you're like, okay, now I'm going to go for these patterns if they come out. Nope, those don't come out either. Or what's worse is they come out when only your opponent can grab them, and they're going to. So Natalie had the situation where she had this pattern she had to create to get a cat to come to her, and if she got this pattern, that would score her 9 points, which in this game is you win.
Yeah.
You'll win. If she gets 9 points and I don't, that's the game.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's like that. So she needed 1 tile to do that. Of course, it never happened. Never. She never saw that tile until it came out when I could grab it. Mm-hmm. And so I could just not grab it and let her do it, but her getting 9 points, to me, that's the game.
Right.
So I take it from her. I can't use it either, but it gives her 9 points, and so now I have 2 tiles I can't use. But the thing is, those other 2 tiles that were there, I also can't use. You know, so I'm like, well, I'm sorry. Why wouldn't I take that one? You know, I can't really do anything with it. So that happened the entire game. And then finally, so it was like that all game. Natalie's pissed
I had
because,
set myself up. All I needed was that one pattern.
And there's no way to find it. There's no way. There's no power that lets you sweep the leg. There's no power that lets you switch tiles around on your board, which would be invaluable because your board is so small and you have to take tiles that just screw you up. It would be so great if there was like a once per game, or you could like give up a couple of victory points to just like take a tile that you placed early in the game that screwed you up later and swap it with a different one. Or let me just take these 3 tiles, throw them back in the bag and draw 3 new tiles. Or let me draw 2 additional tiles from the bag, so now I have 5 to pick from instead of 3. Or, there's like a million different things that you could do, I feel like the designer could do to make this a little less random, a little bit more deterministic with what you have to do. And it's just, when it's not in there, oh my God.
I have an example of this that I feel like a game that does what you want really, really well is Sagrada.
Yeah.
If you remember, Sagrada
those cards
has these tools. Yeah. And there's 15 of them in the game.
You get those
pick
water
3
droplet things.
So you pick 3 of them in the beginning of the game, 3 or 4, and people can then spend something to use these powers, and they're different every game. So I think that could be something that could be cool.
Okay, so actually, I hadn't thought about that. This game is Sagrada without those things. Imagine having Sagrada and there's dice. There's only 3 dice in a 2-player game.
Yeah.
Right? And you can't use any of them. Your pattern on your card, you're just going to hurt yourself. But you have to take one. And there's literally nothing you can do. So Jeff's exactly right. Sagrada has those cards where it's like, okay, I can't use this. But if I give one of my stones up, which is negative points for you, but only a little bit, right? Because if you keep those things, you get a point, right? So if you give that away, now I can use this card that lets me take that die that screwed me over, and I can place it in this spot instead. That's what Calico needs, desperately.
But we were wondering too, because obviously we only played it with 2 players, and so there's 3 tile options when you're like picking a new tile to pick from, and so like let's say there's 2 that are in like colors that neither of us want. And so they're just sitting there forever. So
the whole game, because neither of us are going to take them because we don't want it.
Yeah. A new tile comes out, he takes it, and then another new tile's out. So like one tile's rotating because we're not taking those other 2. So you have no options. So we were wondering if there was more than 2 players, that are the tiles being switched up more so that more options come out or it gets changed up more
Right.
rapidly when there's more people playing, because for us we're just like, I don't want this, I still don't want that, I still
Yep.
don't want that. You
So
know?
it sucked.
Like, where's the tile I want?
However, what I think a problem that would present itself, there's no way around the AP. You have 6 colors and 6 patterns, and you have to. That's a ton of stuff that you have to figure out. Oh my god, how do I make this pattern work with this color with this? Oh, and so you're locked up every turn. You're like, what do I do with 4 players? The time on this would, I think, be disproportionate to the fun. In 2 players, I kind of liked like, oh, what do I do?
Yeah.
But if I'm the person behind me, I'm sitting here probably for 10 minutes while everyone has that like,
How long did it take the 2 of you to play?
Maybe like an hour.
yeah, about an hour. It wasn't. It didn't feel long, but to me it felt. But we were like,
Well,
so real quick. So that example I talked about, where Natalie needed one more tile, the whole game she didn't see that tile. It came out twice. I took it both times, until the very last turn of the entire game.
very
There it
last
is.
turn.
She came out. She gets it. 9 points. She wins.
Oh,
But that's
Yeah.
just the
And that was
Or it
randomness.
could have just not come out,
And
and,
that
I didn't get it. You
sucked.
know?
That sucked. It was like for both of us.
Yeah.
Because she's like, well, now I feel. Of course, I'm going to take it, but she didn't do anything to get that. It just luckily happened.
Right? Yeah.
So the luck shone through too much. Jeff's exactly right. It needs what
Yeah.
Sagrada has. It desperately needs that, but it needed to be in the base game. That's not an expansion to me. That needs to be
Part
there
of the game.
from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, so the first time we played it on like the less advanced, I don't know,
The wuss level.
the wuss level.
Baby's first board.
And I remember it being like a little, like it was frustrating, but we both were like, I liked this game. It was a little bit frustrating, but I liked it. And then the second, we're like, let's play with the more advanced tiles. And I think we were saying, like, even from the beginning, you have more flexibility because you're just starting out and just deciding what you're going to like play. And it was like the second turn and we're already like, I don't know where, I don't want these. I don't know where to put this.
Sucks. And you can't do anything about it.
But it's funny because, well, okay.
That was luck, though. I think our first game, it just didn't happen as often. There was eventually like, I can do this.
Well, okay. There was a couple things. There was like on the second game too, we were a little too lazy to pull out like some sets, which would have made it a little bit less random. Remember?
True. Yeah.
Because you can pull out some sets
In a
of
2-player game,
tiles out
you
of the
basically
bag.
you move an entire set, which is 6 colors, 6 patterns, from the game. So you're seeing
see
there's not
more
as many
tiles.
tiles.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you can. Yeah. And we didn't do that, which maybe that hurt us.
I thought. Remember we talked about that because that's not what felt random about the first, or not as random about the first game. Because I remember there was a couple times like we tied, or I beat you by 1 point in that first game because at the very end we both just lucked into a tile that gave us a bunch of points.
Yeah.
And if that didn't happen, I think we're in the same boat as we were on the second game. So yeah.
Well, anyways, I think I wrote down that it was like 50-50 for me, like fun versus frustrating.
Yeah.
And I was
agree.
like, I don't understand that because I remember that last game just feeling frustrated the whole time. Like, what the hell?
Well, the first game was fun. The second game was 50-50.
We were just like grumpy, like, oh, like, no, I don't want that tile. I remember like I would take a tile and he was like, well, I was like, I don't want this tile. And he's like, well, you just have one tile you don't want. So the next tile you take, could be a good one. And so then I take it and he's like, well, and he said that same thing. And I'm like, that's what you said about the last tile. Now I have 2 tiles
so now
I don't
she has
want.
2 tiles she doesn't want. And then it's like, I have to play one of these and
but
that
I
screws
just
me.
realized when Jeff said, I think the reason that I'm still kind of like hung up on it was still fun is because it was like Sagrada. And I generally liked the general gameplay and the idea of it.
The rules
but
were
I
cool.
just felt frustrated. And you're right.
Rules,
it's 100% because it was random. The randomness was frustrating.
It has to have some way to mitigate whether it's the cards thing from Sagrada or just some like everybody gets a player power and this is my power. My power is I can draw more from the bag.
Right.
Your power is you can swap tiles if you need to. You know what I mean? It needs something.
And in general, for me, like it's not as fun when I have like I feel like I have no control over what I'm doing, and so like why I'm not playing the game. It's just the luck of the draw, and I have to place it based on what I get.
So that's Calico.
Let me ask you a question. Are you to the point now overly frustrated where you don't want to play it? Or is this frustration going, I'm so frustrated that I want to play it again? because it's happened to me a
That's a
couple
good-
times.
For me, it's neither of those, but I will say I'm not like goodbye.
No,
Goodbye.
me neither.
Okay.
Because like the way we felt, I thought I would be, but I'm not. And so I'm like, I would play it again,
would
but I
too.
know I was frustrated. So I was like, but I still want to like.
I think it's because what she said. The mechanisms are fun.
Yeah.
The like patterns and colors is fun. The game looks beautiful, so it's
Yeah.
inviting.
Yeah. So it's not
And
all bad. It is fun, like trying to like make it all work, and
It's just too random.
but the
I've had
randomness is it's
those
hard.
feelings with a couple games. One is, and they've both gone both ways. One is patchwork. The first time you play patchwork,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm having fun, and then you get negative 5 points.
13
and you're
points. Like,
Right.
oh,
And then you get to the end, and I'm like, I can't
You're like,
fit
that was
anything in here.
yeah,
What
that
did I
was
do?
frustrating, but in a way where you're like, that was frustrating.
I wanna figure it out and
Rack
do
it
better.
again. I'm playing it again right
Yes.
now, and I want to figure out how to be better at this game. And you do.
I wouldn't say it's that.
No.
But I also wouldn't
Okay.
say I
Because
don't
of the
want to play
randomness.
it again. You're right. It's
And
like a weird, different feeling.
I've had the opposite experience with Tiny Towns, where I played Tiny Towns the first time, and I was like,
Nope.
this is dumb. And I'm frustrated. And I was like, let's play it again to see. Because I've had experience where we played again, and you're like, I get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I had played it again. I was like, nope. Still don't
No, thank
want
you.
anything to do with it.
This is more, in my opinion, this is more like Tiny Towns, but for some reason, I don't hate it like I did with Tiny
Yeah,
Towns.
I don't
I
hate
hated
it.
Tiny Towns
Yeah.
too. I actually, honestly, I kind of want to play it again.
Me too.
But I'll bet you we're going to play it and be like,
You're like, what did we,
Yeah, the
why
third-
did we
yeah.
play this?
And
What
then
are we
you'll have the same
doing?
feeling again. Go, well, what if we played it one more time?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're gonna have 10 plays at the end of the year.
Confusing
I think a lot of that is because of
we
Best
like
Sobel.
the Sagrada, of it, but it's just not. It's missing something that makes it.
Here's the thing. I think Sagrada
Good.
strikes the perfect balance
Yeah.
between what you need and what you can do on your board.
Yeah.
Calico is a little bit, there's too much. There's a little too much to contemplate.
Yeah.
I've never been in Sagrada where I take a die and I'm like, where do I put this? For 5 minutes. You know, like,
Yes, that is true. You're
but that
seriously-
game, you are locked up.
Right.
Like, and I've read that that's what other people think too.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
I was wondering.
Is like
what
people are
other
like, this is
people
fun, but I can't ever decide what to do on my turn because there's a million different things to do, and it's like there's too many patterns, there's too many colors, there's too
There's
many
too many ways to get points. It's like, do I go for
it.
colors? Do I go for patterns? Do I go for my tiles?
And because
you're
and
trying
more
to make
than
it
that,
all work at the same time.
yes, and more than
seeing
that,
if
your
you
board is
can.
this big. And so you can't afford to be like, well, I'll just put it over here and then something will materialize. You can't do that.
Okay.
And the thing is, those tiles in the middle, they're like, you score 15 points if every tile surrounding this is a different color and a different pattern. But that's not up to you. That's up to whatever happens to come out on your turn. And that sucks because that's just, you're not playing the game. The game's playing you.
Yeah.
So that's Calico.
Cute little kitty.
Cute little game about
cute little game.
kittens. That will
50%
make
fun,
you wanna
50%
kill yourself.
frustrating.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
Kinda like
Jeff,
having a
man.
cat.
Yeah, just like having a cat. I love this cat. Stop shitting in my house. What else you played, dude?
I played. Guys, I want to tell you something. I've
right, I
been
wanna
playing
hear it.
some games recently.
Yeah, you have. You've been loving
Like,
it.
so let me just
Your
tell you what I
libido
played in the
is
last 2
Yeah,
weeks.
his
So in the
libido's
last
going
2
strong.
weeks,
Like an
this might not
18-year-old
seem
boy.
like a lot. There's people who would just, but I have like a child and work and stuff. So I played Quirky Circuits, Castles of Burgundy. I played The Crew a handful of times. Orleans, Fort, Pendulum, Istanbul, the dice game, Imaginarium, 2 unlocks, and Chronicles of Crime.
Yesterday?
How long?
In last 2 weeks.
Wow.
And
That is
again,
a
there's people
lot.
out there who play 10 games a week, but I don't play 10 games a week.
Right.
Yeah, I
And
have a
to do
life.
that- yeah. What?
Not some neckbeard
When
big
I saw you were
job.
playing Castle of Burgundy, I
Not
was
some
very
Chud
jealous.
Munson.
Yeah, Devin left and she was like, I need to go to something. And she left and she was like, set up a game for when I come back. And I was like, okay. And I was like, Castles of Burgundy is nice. Done in an hour. But
Yeah, you both know
Anyway.
the rules. You don't got to
Yeah.
figure that out. Yeah, that's good,
So-
good for you,
hear
man.
That?
Donkey Kong.
No, I didn't
Yeah.
hear anything.
Donkey Kong, Madigan, made a trade on Board Game Geek. Did
Okay.
a little swap.
Swappy doo?
I actually did the swapping because he's not.
You
I was
brokered the
gonna say,
deal?
is that
Yeah,
board game?
yeah.
You brokered the deal?
Yeah, so I
He's
took a
been
little-
Board Game
I
Geek
took a
for
little cut.
Scorpion
But I mean, is he
X, I
active
think.
though?
No.
That's
He is not in our guild like you.
Oh!
Anyway.
I'm going to go get
So
you
he
some
made a trade.
salve
I feel like
for
I
that
can't
burn.
join it now. It's like
Yes, you
Yeah,
can.
now it's like a thing.
Just go do it.
You just click.
We can
join.
still make fun of you, but still do it.
So he got a game called Imaginarium, designed by Bruno Cathala.
What did he trade away?
He traded away a game called Nocturian, which he got at Gen Con a year ago.
Okay.
Nocturian was okay. I
Yeah.
think he upgraded with this game.
Sure.
Based on playing both of them.
Nice.
And Imaginarium doesn't get a massive amount of attention. If you went on YouTube and you typed in like Imaginarium rules teach, not a lot of.
Is that the one with the elephant on the box?
Yes.
That's all I remember about it.
Yep. There's not a lot of videos. There's maybe a handful that some people talk about, like reviews, but there's no like watch how to play. There's no Rado. None of those are on there. So I was surprised.
That's funny because I remember that being a big game when it came out.
So unless I'm just not looking things, but anyway, Imaginarium is an engine building game
About elephants.
with elephant. There's an elephant on the cover, and so engine building resource management game, and it's got a very cool looking art style. It's steampunky, realistic looking thing. So there might. So
I remember that picture you posted now.
Yeah, so there's like an elephant, but the elephant's got some weird steampunk machine on it, or there's like this gigantic tree growing out of a huge teacup. Like it's like
I like steampunk.
Like,
Steampunk is cool.
Remember the steampunk escape room?
Yeah, we did that escape room in that little trailer.
That was cool.
Yeah,
and for how much I like the steampunk art, I think is always unique and cool. Steampunk games never
do it for you.
Do it for me.
Yeah.
But the art, I'm like, I always get drawn to them because I'm like, what
it's cool
art.
looking. Yeah.
So
I didn't realize that was a steampunk.
Yeah. And so what players are doing is players are working to collect resources to repair broken steampunk machines that will then enhance their production engine.
Sounds good.
Make sense?
Yeah.
And
so far.
Each round begins by players choosing their position on this conveyor belt. And you choose your position by everybody has a player pawn, and it's like a bust of their character.
Yeah.
And it's really awesome. And they're so like detailed. It could have.
Are they like heavy? They feel like nice.
They're like nice. I just wanted to hold mine. I just want to hold them. And if I could paint, I'm sure people have painted just like incredible, awesome things.
Yeah.
But these are, and they're nice. They're probably like 1.5 inches, 2 inches tall. You know, they could easily
like that thing in like that player pawn in the jungle game that we played.
Yeah, damn,
what's that game called?
Did I play it?
It's called.
No, you haven't played it.
Welcome to the Jungle?
La Isla.
No.
Isla de la Rada. Isla Dorada. There it is.
Yeah.
Isla Dorada.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, but it's not that tall. But yeah, it's like that. Where like the faces are super
we got
detailed.
there.
Yeah. But that's it. So so you move what you do on your turn is you move your player pawn on this conveyor belt, and you can stop on one of the broken machines to essentially buy one of those broken machines to add to your collection, or you can move and you can get on this track called Charcoalium, which Charcoalium is the money in the game.
Oh, that's funny.
What they do is then once you moved on this conveyor belt, you go in order of the conveyor belt, and each person then takes 2 actions. And you have this personal player board. The personal player board holds your engine, and it also has this wheel on it, and there's this wheel of actions. And you turn this wheel, and it points to 2 adjacent actions that you do on your turn. So you're spinning this wheel, and you're taking 2 adjacent actions from this dial. The actions are things like, you can repair one of your machines that you just bought. You can hire an assistant. Assistants give you like cool abilities or special powers throughout the game that you can keep. You can hire, you hire an assistant. You can enhance or reorder your machine. So some machines can lay on top of each other to produce better things. So if I have 2, they're like labeled. So if I have 2 P2 machines, I can lay them on top of each other, and they produce double or triple what it was. Because I only have 4 slots for my machine. So if I'm enhancing, then I open up a free spot for a new machine to go there because I'm moving them around. Like you can also reorder them. You can destroy something. So if you destroy a machine, you can get some points. You can get some more resources if you destroy one of your cards. You can trade in resource, or you can just get Charcoalium. And
that's cool.
Yeah. So
I like that.
What players are doing is there's a group of goals that you have to achieve, and players are trying to achieve these goals that are on the board. There's a bunch of them, and they get randomized and put them out. And the goals are something that has to do with like your engine, your resources, your cards, something. So maybe have 6 cards in your engine, and you get to put your token on this, and you get points for achieving that goal. If you have one engine that produces 5 of the same resources, you get to put your chip out there, and you get more points. So the first person who gets to 20 ends the game. So as soon as you get to 20 points, you end the game. And then there are some.
You don't necessarily win,
right? It's just like an end.
It triggers the end
exactly.
Got it.
And there are some end game points with assistants. Some assistants have extra end game points. You get points for leftover resources. If you have the most of a certain resource, you get a couple points.
Sure.
And that's the whole game. The rules are fairly simple. Explaining the rules went quickly. I just felt myself like staring at art. There's this mouth on the board. It's like a human mouth, like a picture of a mouth, and that's like the crusher where you put your discards. It's like so weird. But anyway,
that does sound like I want to look at it.
Yeah, you definitely want to look at it.
Let me see that.
And I tend to enjoy engine builders other than Splendor for some reason. And this was no this fell in the same line. I like this. I liked engine builders. It seems to click with me sometimes where I get the hang of how to get my engine going.
Sure.
And I like that action selection wheel because there's 6 actions on there that you can do, and you can only pick the 2 adjacent ones. So you're spinning this wheel, and really you're trying to weigh. Rarely is my first and second actions that I want to do are next to each other. You know, it's like, all right, I'm going to do this one because I need to do it, and then what leftover one?
So is it like a rondelle?
It's kind of. It's basically. I want you to think of a clock. So the clock. So think of a clock where one hand is pointed at 12 and one hand is pointed at 1.
Okay.
And that thing just spins. So it's all it is pointing to 2 adjacent actions.
Yeah, I see.
Okay.
So I can hire an agent or hire an assistant and get 3 charcoalium, or I can get 3 charcoalium and build the thing. So it just kind of like rotates around.
Sure.
And that's tough because it's never the 2 exact things.
You don't want to do those 2
Yeah.
things.
I was lucky enough. One of my assistants that I had allowed me to just pick 2. I could ignore the wheel. It was really
Calico needs
expensive.
that. That's what Calico needs.
Yeah, so I could ignore the wheel and I could just pick 2 actions.
That's awesome.
So that was kind of cool.
Break
But
the game.
I felt everyone else going, all right, well, if I do this, I guess I'm just getting something. Next turn, I'll be able to build it if I do that. So I thought that was cool to make those decisions. I also like that the objectives were sort of like a race. That if I'm the first one to get 6 in my engine, I get more points than the next person that gets 6. Because if I get 6 first, I get the 5 points of them that's on the tile. If Natalie gets it next, she only gets 4 points.
Yeah.
And then you would get 4. So it's just like 1 less every time. So you want to race to get those. You want your engine to be good. Overall, I thought it was good. Dave definitely upgraded from Nocturian.
Good.
It was fun.
How long did it take?
It took a little too long. That would be one of my complaints. Is for what it was, I felt like there was a little. It was a little long between turns.
Yeah.
If I went last, I'm waiting for everyone to now take 2 actions, and then not only did I go last in that round, I might go last again next round. Like the order changes throughout the entire game. So there could be a long time between waiting for turns, but there's also then some satisfying things where I might go last this time, but now I'm going first next time.
So you get like 4 back to back.
Yeah, so maybe I'm the first one to now get this when I know that they're also trying to get the same objective.
Okay.
So there's also a little bit of randomness with cards that come out for these machines that you're trying to fix. If I start with like a P1 machine and I'm looking for another P1 machine to go on top of it to enhance it, that might be at the bottom of the deck. And I just might not see it. Bill and I ran into that where we both started with something and never really saw the enhancement card to help that. It wasn't a bad thing because I could just destroy that machine and get something or add it. I ended up winning, so it's not like it affected the gameplay. But we were both like, where's the heck is our enhancement card that we can get to make this better? But overall, I enjoyed it.
Sweet.
I think it definitely pulls you to the table with the art, and the pieces and the components are very cool. So
It comes out onto the table in a month. How do you feel?
what do you mean?
Like,
Like again.
you go
If
to
it
Bill's
comes-
house and it's set up ready for you to play.
I
know
would,
it's
be, I would be
Dave's.
excited to play it again.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would be excited to play it again. I would hope that we would get through it quicker.
Yeah.
Just because I think it took
Now you know.
Yeah, 2 hours and 2 and a little bit. Not again that the time was wrong. It said 90 minutes, but if our turns could go quicker, I would be
You enjoy it.
yeah,
more?
I think I would enjoy it a little more. But again,
Okay.
that's our first play to
Yeah.
speed
Yeah,
up
yeah.
after
For
that.
sure.
But yeah, I thought overall it was good. I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Imaginarium.
Imaginarium.
Bombix Games.
So, is that a new publisher?
I don't know.
Bombix?
Bombyx.
Bombix, baby,
Bombix.
fantastics.
You know their logo, I think. Yeah. I think you know their logo.
Okay, I probably do.
And
So
you got a sweet game to talk
Jeff
about.
the Mad Board Gamer was at our FLGS the other day and sent me a text asking if there were any games I wanted.
That's true.
He mentioned they had pictures, and I immediately said, yes, please buy that for me. So I got it. We took it up to Ben and M's place and got to play it. If you haven't heard of Pictures, it won the Spiel des Jahres award this year. It's a lighter, almost party-style game, but not quite. That definitely gives you that, why didn't I think of this feel, which pisses me off. In this game, you have a grid of photorealistic pictures, and each player is arbitrarily given some pieces. There are 5 different kinds of pieces that you can get. There's wooden blocks of different shapes, a deck of cards with pictures on them, some rocks and sticks, a bunch of multicolored cubes, and 2 shoelaces. Using those components, each player randomly gets assigned 1 picture in secret on this grid that they have to recreate with those components that they've got. So if I have the stones and sticks, I might have to make a butterfly out of those. After everyone crudely makes their picture with those pieces, everyone takes turns guessing what picture they think the other people created. It's a lot of hilarious fun as every single time you look at someone's creation and you assume they just dropped them on the table and made nothing.
Yeah, you're just like, what?
There is no picture out there that looks like the nonsense that you just created, which they're all thinking about mine as well. And then all of a sudden you kind of like peer into their brain and you see what they did and you're like, hell yeah, it's C2, 100%. It's that sailboat with the periscope on it. You write down like really confident because you're like, haha, and then you find out, nope, they were making the picture of the puppy in the tulips. And you laugh and feel dumb and move on. You play 5 rounds, so everyone has a chance to play with every grouping of pieces one time. Cool. So basically, so if I have the sticks and stones, that'll break your bones.
Oh, my bones.
Words will never hurt you.
Oh, does that hurt? A little. So you have, so the first round, I play with those sticks and stones that break your bones.
The first time you said stones and sticks, and I wanted to correct you so bad.
You did?
Yeah.
In the second round, we all passed the stuff we played to the next player on our left.
Yeah.
So I might have the cubes this time, which they all played a little differently, which is cool. So if you have the cubes, you have a ton of multicolored cubes. You must make a 3x3 grid of whatever the picture is. Cool. And that one was really fun. The shoelaces are just ridiculous, but they're hilarious. Yeah. So at the end of the 5 rounds, most points wins. You get points in a lot of these different games. There's a lot of games like this that award points in this way. So basically, if you guess correctly what my picture was, you get a point. And then I get a point for everybody that guessed correctly what my picture was. So you want to do good. You want people to guess what you're doing. And then at the end of the 5 rounds, whoever has the most points wins.
Yeah.
So things I liked. I really liked the concept of this game. It's very simple. It's really fun. It's a lot of fun to take these components, which do not cooperate with the amazing ideas you have in your brain, and arrange them in such a way that it kind of sort of looks like that tree, almost. This is just a game where you're laughing the entire time from start to finish, and I really liked the feel of that. Trying to make a railroad track next to some San Francisco buildings using nothing but 2 shoelaces is just as fun as it is frustrating.
Yeah, because the pictures aren't just like some simple pictures.
No.
They're like landscapes and
they're like real images.
Photorealistic.
Like,
is that the right term? Photorealistic? Like it's like actual, like you go outside of my backyard, take a picture, and that's on the card.
Sure, they're not drawn.
It's not hand drawn or cartoons.
And it's not just like, a field with one flower in it. It's like.
Although sometimes.
Sometimes.
Some of them are a little simpler. But anyway, so the cool thing I like about this game, which you don't find in a game where you're like maybe drawing stuff, is everyone sucks in this game.
You just
and
can't
that makes it cool because you don't have the one guy who's like, well, that guy's going to win because he knows how to draw really well. Mm-hmm. You all have these things that are impossible to make look like, and then it's what you're making it seem to be. So you have to get someone else to understand that I put this little block here that really that's a flower. You know what I mean? On top of that mountain. You have to be in my brain knowing that. And everybody's doing that because all the things that you're using suck. The wooden blocks suck. The cards suck. The shoelaces, impossible. It's all terrible. But it's so funny. And so the playing field is leveled. And that is one of the things that makes a really good party style game. Is that anybody can play it. You all suck at it, and you're just laughing at yourselves while eventually, because the more you go on, you get a little better. Mm-hmm. And then you start to understand what people are thinking. Yeah. And it's so fun to be the only one that guessed correctly on what Ben built. Yeah. And then he looks at you like, we're best friends now. And it's like, yeah. And then Emily and Natalie are like, you guys are stupid. It was clearly this that he drew. And we're like, no, it wasn't, because Ryan guessed it. It's like that stuff is like really fun. Yeah. Things I didn't like. There isn't a ton to dislike. The only thing I could say I didn't really like was and I don't even really understand the reason behind this, but last year's like awesome party game that I loved was Just One, right?
Yes.
That game, when I played Just One for the first time, I wanted to play it again. And then we played it again, and I wanted to play it again. And I wanted to show every single person I've ever met that game. And I still do. We took it there. If you would have came with us, Jeff, we would have played it for sure. With 4, it's not probably as good. So we didn't play it, but I wanted to. This game, we played it the one time through, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I didn't feel like I never wanted to play it again. Like, I loved it. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, I didn't have that. I don't know. It didn't give me that, like, I cannot wait to show you, Jeff. I can't wait till you play this. Yeah, I don't have that feeling. I want you to play it, and I think you'd love it.
I want to play it. I just looked. It's not on Amazon, so I can't buy it on Amazon.
Yeah, I had it in my cart the day it won the spiel, and I just didn't pull the trigger, and then it was gone. Anyway, it's really fun. But for me, it didn't have that Just One sensation of I can't wait to literally show every group of people I play with. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What'd you think?
I really liked it too. I mean, I guess that you're right. It wasn't like this is the greatest game I've ever played. Let's play it. Let's show everybody. But I felt different from you. I did want to play it again.
You did right after we were done.
I was like, sweep the cards. Let's get some new pictures. Let's do it again. Like I was kind of like, oh, I want to keep playing it.
Yeah. It was funny, right?
Yeah, I thought it was really fun, and you're right. It's just fun, like having these random, pile of objects and trying to like come up with a way to like show this.
Yeah, how do I make these people? You always feel self-conscious and insecure. Like, I'm sorry, guys, this is terrible, and then they'll guess it, and you're like,
right.
oh, okay.
When they guess it, I'm like, oh wow, I guess I did pretty good.
Do you keep the
good.
same grid of cards for all 5?
So that's a very good, good point, and that one that I was going to just talk about. So I watched Tom Vassel's review right before we went over there, just to see because pretty much everything I've seen, people are like, this is so fun and hilarious and awesome. Like Jim Gamer talked about it recently and got me real pumped about it, how he was talking about it. And then I read Vassel's review, and he was like, I don't like this game at all. He goes, but every other single human being I've played with loves it. He's like, so it's just me. I just don't like. He's
he
like,
does acknowledge that a lot of times.
Yeah,
when he is the only.
He's
person.
like, I don't like making a picture with stupid stuff. I want to make it look good. He's like, and I can't with this. And he's like, my big problem though is that the cards don't change throughout the round. And here's why he has a problem with it. And I can understand this, but just change the cards. But here's why he doesn't have a problem with it. Here's why he has a problem with it, because the cards are in a grid, okay? And then there's a bag you draw from, and you pull coordinate chips out of the bag. And the coordinate will tell you what card you're playing. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D. And so it's like a 4x4 grid. And so I pull out B2, right? And I make B2, the card that's B2, which is a butterfly, with my wooden objects.
Yeah.
And it looks awesome, and you guys all get it. Now I pass the wooden objects to you, and it's the next round. And you pull out B2.
And
you're now making
stuff.
That same exact picture with those same exact components that I made it with.
We kind of house ruled it last night, and
does that make sense?
Yeah. Why?
Well, yeah, because like Emily
put the chip back in the bag and get another one. That's what we did,
right? Because Emily pulled one that I did, and then I passed her the.
So change the cards, put the things back in.
She's like, "Can I put this back? Because I'm just going to do the exact same thing Natalie just did."
I found it a weird complaint because I was like, "This is the type of game. If you're playing a game like Calico or I don't know, At the Gates of Liang, you don't want to just be like, well, just don't do that rule. You got to play by the rules. But this is like a party game, where it's like, okay, just draw another chip. You don't want to do the butterfly one, with
or
the
switch
same
the
components,
cards.
or just put the cards out.
I don't care about my points.
Right, exactly. Or don't keep score. That kind of game. So I found that a weird complaint from him. It seemed like more he just didn't enjoy the process of making something. It was frustrating to him. Where for us, we found great enjoyment in that.
Because it was kind of annoying a little bit that like there was some cards that never got picked and then some cards that got picked like every round. I'm like, let's look at this card. Like I want someone to like
I wonder if like 2 rounds you just switch them out.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. You could. We didn't. It was fine for us. It didn't bother us at all.
I wasn't upset about it or anything. I was just kind of like, oh, that kind of sucks. I wish we would have done
it was funny because for Emily, I guessed the exact same card for her 4 rounds in a row, and 2 rounds I was correct on her. So, but it did not hamper my enjoyment of the game in any way. It was almost kind of cool. In the 4th round, I'm like, oh, I got that card again. Here's how I'll make it this time. Yeah. It was kind of fun. And there was you can even get the same card because there's all these chips. Like I could get C2 and you could get C2. And we're making the same picture with different components.
Cool.
And it was
that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to see.
It was fun.
Because I was kind of like, oh, I think Natalie's doing the same card I've done. Okay, but like maybe she's not. I'm only seeing that because it's mine. So it had really cool stuff. So that's pictures.
I'm excited to play that.
That's a fun game. You're gonna like that, Jeff.
I think my students will love it too.
Oh yeah.
Once we can actually get back in person.
That is every game
that's going to be perfect.
Your students love it, but they will love that.
They will.
So you got anything else for us?
Yeah, real quick. Man, these 3 games we're talking about, like hotness.
Oh, yeah.
Spiel winner. Come on.
Yeah, right.
How are you not listening to this podcast?
I am sweating my balls off with all the heat going on in this episode.
All right, real quick, I want to talk about a game called Quirky Circuits.
Love that one.
Which is...
Do I love that one? I think so.
Well, we played it once with Jeremy.
Right.
You played with Jeremy. Okay. Yeah. It was
that's a plaid hat, right?
Plaid hat game. I think you got it at Gen Con a few years ago.
Sure did.
I was
last year.
Yeah, gifted a copy from Plaid Hat. So thank you to them. I want to talk about it very quickly. Nikki Valens published it. Plaid Hat. It's 2 to 4 players. It plays 15 minutes, maybe 20 for longer scenarios.
This is the Mind meets Robo Rally, right?
Yes.
Is that kind of what this is?
Yes.
I remember that. I remember this now.
Rally.
Yeah. That's a cool concept.
So a lot of people have played things like Above and Below, Near and Far, Stuff Fables, that book. where you're like flipping pages, okay? And each page...
Jaws of the Lion, I think, has that now.
Okay, does it? Each page is a new board or scenario.
Right,
so so both the scenario and the board. So both the rules for this scenario and the board are on this.
That's a cool way to handle.
It's cool.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, versus like I know there's some games where the board stays the same, but like now here are different rules.
Yeah.
Not only they can change the board and they can do. I think that's really great.
Very cool.
So picture that thing, and what you are is you're working as a team to program these different robots through these scenarios.
Yeah.
So the robot, the first handful of scenarios is this cat on a Roomba.
Yeah, a Roomba.
Yeah, it's cat on a Roomba.
DJ Roomba.
And you're programming this Roomba to do the scenario for that round.
Yeah,
so
you're picking up dust bunnies.
You're picking up dust bunnies. So you move the Roomba around. If you bump into a table, you might knock a vase over, and you got to clean the vase up. And you got to clean all the dust bunnies up, and then you got to get back to your base.
Yeah.
You know? Because that's what Roombas do. They vacuum the room, and then they have to
go
get back.
Yep.
If they don't get back, you lose.
Donkey Kong's got one. We know about that.
Yeah. And what's cool is like, the timer for the round is a battery, which is like, the battery could run out.
Oh, that's adorable.
Way to think that through. But the game is also, for how cute it looks, is kind of tense and difficult. So how Ryan said it was the mind, it's because as a group, you're playing cards down to a communal track, essentially, programming track to go, all right, I'm going to put this down because I know this card makes our robot move forward 1. Okay, I'm going to put that down. It's face down. The only thing anybody else sees is the back of the card that says it's a movement card.
Yep.
And Ryan goes, well, we need to turn left. So Jeff must have played that to turn left or to go forward. So now I'm going to play mine that turns left. And the back of his card has a turn thing on it. But man, did Ryan... Did he have the right card to do it? And then Natalie's like, well, I have a go forward 2 and then a turn around for us to then be facing the right direction. So then she might play 2 in a row. And everybody has to play at least 1, and you have to play 5 total. And then when everybody thinks they're ready, you flip all the cards over and you move the robot to where it needs to go.
Yeah.
And Devin and I played 3, 4, 5 times. Just like we flipped the page and played again and played again and played again. Yeah. I think with the two of us, it might be a little easier because there were moments where I put something down and we both had that moment of like, that's the right card. All right. So I when I played something, it's moving forward. And Devin's like, well, I have 4 cards that's going to make us move, turn, and be in the right spot. So then she could play 4 in a row. And then I was like, okay, well, let's just see.
And you're not talking about this. This is all happening in your head.
You can't talk about what you're playing at all. You just play, and then you agree to go, all right, let's flip them.
Which is like the mind.
Yeah. So then we flipped them. So Devin had 4 cards that really worked well. But I thought that balance was fun. Like for me to do that,
funny though,
Devin
when
to go like,
doesn't go right.
Oh yeah,
that's really funny. Like, oh no, you went backwards. Why'd you do that?
Yeah, exactly. Where you like, or she puts the card down, and then I like rush to put one down, and then she has to put one next to it, and it's like, oh boy, now we're just spinning in circles, or we bumped into something, and now we have to like backtrack to where we were going. So the whole thing is like a really fun game, but it's difficult.
Yeah.
But I think the theme is kind of cute. With this cat.
The artwork is so cool. It ties the room together.
The book. Yeah, the book was just so added kind of a lot to it. So we're gonna keep playing it every once in a while when we want to do, half hour. We'll play 3 of them. And
I've been wanting to try it again for a while. We have it too. I've been wanting to try it again.
Yeah. So I think each scenario is chunked. So like the first 7 might be the cat on the Roomba. The next 7 are a different robot with different kind of powers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And different set of cards. So each robot has a different set of cards. And I'm excited to kind of see where Quirky Circuits takes us.
Quirky Circuits, by Plaid Hat.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Yep. It is now that time once again for Jeff to take off his game explaining hat and put on his community interacting skin tight pantsuit in today's Instagram inbox.
Skin tight pantsuit.
Wow,
he likes to wear those.
And now it's time for the Instagram inbox with the Mad Board Gamer.
Well, hello there, gamers. This is
shots fired here,
wait,
man.
Is this the beginning of the episode? No, I am Jeff the Mosquito Eater, and this is the Instagram inbox. So I went on Instagram. You guys have been there before.
Never heard of it.
So I went on Instagram and I asked a question, and I have a word from the other game. Okay. I asked, what quirky things do you do while playing board games?
Doesn't have to involve circuitry.
I know.
Yeah. Do you guys know what quirky is? Do you guys have any quirky things you do?
Lots.
So when I posted the picture or the question on Instagram, I put your quirks in there.
Yeah.
I put Natalie likes to beep boop when she moves her faces. And Ryan is a straightener. He's a straightener of things.
sure
I have to tidy stuff
It's
up.
not only straighten in front of him, he straightens board stuff too.
Yeah. The other day, I was like helping him set up Calico, and I was just like putting these things in piles, and I thought they were fine. And he just goes, "What are you doing over there?" He's like, "No,
What are you doing?"
And then he like has to fix them all.
Yeah.
I'm like, "What?"
And I know there are a
Why?
lot of people who need things facing the same direction.
We're both like that, right?
Yes,
You and me
as-
are both like that.
Yeah, like when I'm playing Castles of Burgundy and I'm putting those hexes on the spots, everything's facing me.
Right.
Everything's facing the right
Yeah,
direction.
gotta face the
and
right
I know
way.
Dave, Donkey Kong has a similar thing where if we play Isle of Sky, how the roads don't necessarily need to match up. He's like son of a. He gets
Like,
angry when stuff like that
what have
happens.
I done?
So I asked what kind of quirky things people do while playing games.
Yeah,
so,
I can't wait to hear this.
Our MC Dave MC Mick
Yeah,
Dave Mick.
Dave Mick.
I miss you.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's hang
Oh.
out, Dave. He wants to play Castell soon, so we got to get together
I
for
wanna
that.
play that little bit.
Yeah,
I wanna play.
Shout
Can I be
out
the
to
fourth?
Dave. Jeff can play. If Mr. Measles will just be hovering over us, playing in between.
Oh, measles, you can play. You be a seat filler.
It'll be
I'll be a seat filler. When measles is out, I'll jump in.
exactly.
So Mick Dave mix any game with trains. He does a lot of woo woo and chugga chuggas. Awesome. Yeah,
Did he say
And then
that?
train
Did he
movements.
say and chugga chuggas?
yeah.
I want to see this.
Yeah, so we got-
Picturing
I'd love to see
Dave do
Dave
that.
just
Yeah,
going,
I would
woo,
love to
woo,
see
and
Dave
chugga,
chugga 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 because I feel like it would still be dry and hilarious. You know what I mean?
So date night dice. I'm thinking that this might have been Ben's answers, but I'm not quite sure. He said no talking ever.
Yeah, right.
And then he said, actually, they play a lot of 80s music, so they do a lot of music, which we know they do.
Let me
music
tell you
in the
this:
background.
we all, the whole entire soundtrack to yesterday's hangout was bossa nova.
Nice.
It was just like ding ding be dung 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 dung.
Yeah, and then it was 80s, like Prince and a bunch of 80s stuff.
Yeah, and no diggity.
And no, when we were,
He was like Blackstreet.
Yeah,
it was really funny. That was actually Ryan was like, I think he was explaining Istanbul in the middle of the rules, and No Diggity comes on. And he's like, we're gonna have to pause this because there's no way I can't sing this. So he literally had to
I
pause
need to
the
do it.
song.
Ben's like
Yeah,
hit space
pause
bar, so I hit
or
space
you're
bar.
gonna-
There's nothing while I'm talking. That's good. No
All right.
talking ever.
So more quirks. We have table game Mark.
Okay, table game.
Said
Mark.
I would randomly go for no reason, similar to whenever people like make a move. You know, you move, you go
Like they-
nice move.
We're watching fireworks.
Yeah, and it's great that people know this. I'm sure I could have asked like, what do your friends do? And people would be like, dude, you do this all the
Yeah,
time.
wait. till you
Yeah.
do- No, I like the self-awareness checks here. So
Yeah.
he saying he does when people take a move,
Yes.
or just at random?
Well, he does it for
times?
no reason, and he says similar to whenever another player makes a move.
Okay,
so
so
Probably
he
like
just
he
kinda
moved
does it-
somewhere and
yeah.
he's just like
He just kind of does it right down.
provokes a thought.
or maybe
good
when he even
move.
thinks of his own move in his head, goes
Yeah.
yeah, like that. So CP Wilson 4.
Oh yeah, Chris.
Yep. So he says, we have a friend that wants to eat every game piece. That's like a joke about eating the game pieces, especially things that look like candy.
Okay.
Which on Monday nights when we were playing a game and we're like, that looks like candy.
Yeah, I
we
would
like
eat
always
that.
make like Citadels has those little like what looks like butterscotch
Yep,
circles.
those butterscotch things.
And
Yeah.
things like, man, those look delicious. Those
Yeah.
pieces.
Yeah.
Or you can be Jen, Joe's wife, and
Actually eat one.
actually eat a piece of Everdell. Did you know this?
I think I did know this.
So
Did she
she
find
was
it in
like
her
something
stool?
She was like eating. Yeah, she was eating popcorn, and all of a sudden, one of her workers from Everdell ended up in the popcorn, and she took a. So there's like Joe has a little tiny squirrel with like
With a crunch?
with a bite mark on it.
Yeah, that's right.
That kind of
Anyway.
makes it gives it more character.
Yeah.
really funny.
So this goes along with you, Ryan. So this is CP Wilson also. My wife likes to arrange and stack and line up components, so things
Yeah.
have to look
OCD.
good.
Yep.
Same thing. He also said that the cards have to be facing the same way.
Yep.
And if not, he's gonna fix it.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a common one with people in our circles.
Yeah.
You know?
Probably.
Our buddy Mr. Measles.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Measles, good luck going back to school, man.
Is that what he said?
I feel you. No.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
He says he matches the BGG silicone chit bowl colors to what's going in it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's a
Hell
matcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, Mr. Measles. I do that we have those
The card holders,
yeah.
If I'm playing green, I give myself the green one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that way. So yeah, that's awesome.
He also says Mrs. Measles, and he says measles.
Isn't that so awesome?
So
Reads the complete text on every card out loud for every game.
I wonder if that's a little bit passive aggressive right there.
Yeah. Well, complete is bold in capital.
Yeah,
so
that's definitely a little
maybe.
passive
He's probably
aggressive.
like, all right, move on. We don't need to read all of
real
it.
quick. It is a how do I explain this? It is a personal victory for me
Yeah.
that when we met Mrs. Measles. She introduced herself to me as, "Hi, I'm Mrs. Measles."
Yeah.
You know, it is like
Ryan
a personal
is-
victory.
He talks about it all the time.
It's so great.
loves that they've embraced the name.
Well, even on their,
Made
so
up.
they exchange Christmas gifts with McDave Mc.
Yeah.
And I think I can't remember, and I guess one of them can tell me which way it is if they're listening here. But I think the Measles, that's in quotes, when they gave a present to Dave, they wrote "from the measles."
That's funny.
So they've
So it's not
embraced
even like
it.
we're not even.
Yeah,
involved in
yeah.
calling
It makes me
themselves
feel real good.
great.
We love them. So that's
Bulls and boards.
awesome.
Yep. One of our, this is silly to me. One of our game group members logs every one of their moves on their phone.
Shut up.
Every move they make. In
How
a
do you
game.
do that?
So this person, she will take a player pawn and move it from here to here, and then she'll log in. I took this action, and then I took this action, and then I did this.
Seems like a lot of work.
And I'm like, do you hate this girl? Like, do you hate this? She's like, it doesn't slow it down as much as you think, but yeah, they like pick on her sometimes about.
I want to know what she does with the information.
Yeah,
Does she
I'll
recall
reach
back
out
on
again.
it
Do we
before
ever
she
go
plays
back
the
and
next
look?
time?
Yeah, maybe.
That's like
Man.
stuff game designers do.
Yes.
When they're testing.
And maybe
So I want
she
to know
is.
how
Maybe
I want to
that's-
know how the game.
I want to know what her
That's
Instagram is, and we'll talk to her.
interesting.
Yeah, I want to find out
Yeah.
more about this girl.
Yep. Being
have a
Friends
name.
Official says they like to, this could be him, I'm not sure who's responding, constantly rifling through the cards in the hand, almost like obsessively with tokens. He'll rifle through tokens.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's a common thing.
Yeah,
just
moving
constantly
things
playing
around,
with your
yeah.
stuff. Okay,
That's like, or like shuffling poker chips. Remember we play poker all the time? We
That's
like do,
that's more of a like an OCD thing, right?
Like
yeah,
a-
like it could be like a tick.
yeah, like a
kind of
thing.
yeah.
thing.
What's what are those things? Fidgets.
Yeah.
yeah,
Something
fidget
to-
spinner. Yeah, it's a
something to do.
fidget stuff, right?
Yeah. Dub and Dub Games.
Yup.
Years of playing miniature games have me narrating every move I make on every turn.
That's the stuff I like to hear.
Yeah.
Does he give
And
an example?
I told him, well, he has something similar to me where I'll do things if I teach Devin a game or I teach a game on Monday night and I'm like, I happen to be first.
Yeah.
I'll like say what I'm doing. Like, oh, I'm going to go here.
Yeah.
I'm going to take these resources and then I'm going to do this so then it's like, it kind of explains the game also.
Yeah,
He says he
for sure.
does that
Yeah.
too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Combining
All right.
a quirk into an educational moment.
Yeah. Our friend Sam, Miss French Toast.
French toast.
So I'm gonna do her I'm gonna do her friend first. I'm gonna say her friends first. Her friend Meredith.
Get over here,
Wait,
Meredith.
you're the one who said the thing about me.
I don't know if
Yes,
she ever
yes.
sent it. Did she end up sending it to
Says
you?
she deeply feels what Natalie does.
This is the one.
with the beeps and the boops. So she likes to beep and boop while she moves things, or make like little noises while you move.
Meredith gets
Bop,
it.
boop, boop, every time you move something. Sam, on the other hand, instead of swearing, which she always does, she says things like poop and pee and shoot. So she basically reverts back to like
That is
potty mouth
the
talk.
funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like when, like
"Aw, poop."
instead of son of a bitch, she's like son of a biscuit.
Yeah, it's great. And on Monday nights, Bill and I, and we'll say suck butt all the time. Like, man, this is suck butt. Like if things just don't go your way, and it's like, why do we say stuff like
Yeah,
that?
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Ah, poop.
Yeah. Oh, poop.
Aw, poop.
Maybe it's because you're playing a game, and that's kind of like harkening back to a younger time.
Yeah,
and it's not
maybe.
like
Yeah.
serious. So like saying
not
like
serious enough
son of
to
a bitch
say
makes it kind of
that,
seem
yeah.
like okay, that's a little pretentious.
Yeah,
We're
like,
just
why am
like
I-
moving cubes
Why
around.
am I yelling "fuck you" during the game?
Yeah, that's gotta
let
be
me
some
yell.
psychological stuff there.
Nuclear Knight 83. Peter.
Peter.
Says his wife
Peter.
his wife's a big fan of redos and he hates them and he like internalizes this anger sometimes and he lets his wife like take a turn that was like 2 turns ago.
Oh,
or
is she
something.
building fuel depots?
Yeah, he's building fuel depots, going back like turns to do something, and he's like, okay, and he just like gets
That's
angry
not
about
right.
it.
You already
Yeah.
told your
Hey, 6 turns ago, I didn't know you were going to do this, so I
Yeah.
would have done this. Can I go back, please?
And he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, sure, babe. Whatever you want.
Dalton and Nelson.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, fantasies
Yep,
and flights.
fantasy and
They,
some lights.
I'm not sure. I don't know if Dalton or Nelson responded, but one of them, or maybe both of them, they during one game will start setting up another game. I'm like, is that pretty
over top,
disrespectful? Do the
over
one
top
game?
of the game they're playing?
Yeah, move. They got
the
that
other
dual layered table.
during the other person's turn, he's like, hold on, and he starts like setting up another.
Yeah,
game.
so like he'll take his turn and then go to another table and set up a different game and get ready for the next game.
Wow, that's
funny.
funny.
Guild,
really funny.
Guild Mom Shops.
Okay.
So new responder.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Keep coming back.
they will listen. Makes up songs about what's happening, which is just something
That's us. That's like
yeah,
one of the
we
things.
do that
yeah.
too. So completely
Makes up
understand
songs,
that.
right.
And that is the
Do you want to
inbox.
watch me go here?
I also need to give a
Oh.
shout out to Bad Board Game Covers and me, who won the Bad Board Game Covers tournament.
Wow.
And me.
So boom,
Amazing.
Shout out
And
to the Mad Board
congratulations.
Gamer.
And all the lovely people who helped you along the
Yes,
way.
and everyone who voted for me.
And
Thank
all of our
you.
15 accounts that voted for
Yes. And I am running out of email addresses to create
to make
Instagram
sock puppet accounts that we did.
But,
And I
yeah,
went
go
to the
check out-
Trivia Geeks thing, and he doesn't know, but I signed into his account and voted for you.
Oh, yes. So that was shout out to Trivia Geek, who we played in the finals. It was
Yes.
tough competitor.
Great guy.
That was
Dan's
a fun
awesome.
process.
Yeah, that was
Even
cool.
though I was just voting, I still thought it was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was awesome of Bad Board Game Covers to put that cool thing together because it really
Yeah.
brought a lot of people together.
Yeah, it was like a cover contest. Everybody just picked covers, and then on Instagram, people voted for what cover they liked better.
Please
and-
go follow Bad Board Game Covers.
Yeah,
that
he's
guy
a
does
cool
some
account.
really cool stuff there, and he makes a lot of really awesome content. And
Yeah.
this thing he did, I mean, Natalie and I weren't even in the thing. But, you know, Jeff
Yeah, you
is
guys were
one of us.
It was very
like-
cool.
It was like really cool. We were all like
Yeah,
getting,
we were
you know, I'm
so
getting as
into
many
it.
people as I can vote. And Dan, Trivia Geek, was like messaging me, you know, like hateful things,
Yeah.
like trying to do a
Vote
smear
for Jeff.
campaign. Yeah, like what the heck, man?
Yeah.
And it was just a lot of fun. So that
Yeah,
was
it
really
was.
cool, man. Congratulations, Jeff.
Oh, thank you. I won nothing other than Instagram.
Congrats on
fame.
your no
Bragging
prize,
rights.
didn't
Yeah.
win nothing victory. I have no idea what in the hell Natalie has decided to do for this week's board game beatdown, but I will tell you that I've been vomiting with stress and fear over it for the last couple hours, which has really done a number on my weight loss. So thank you, Natalangus. Now, let us know what we are in store for in today's board game beatdown.
Today's board game beatdown. I chose a game I've never played before, but I think it's really popular because it's ranked number 26 on BGG.
Okay, that's popular.
It has
pretty good.
61,000 reviews.
Wow.
and-
Reviews? You mean comments?
or comments?
Okay.
No.
61. There's no
Reviews.
way it has 61,000 reviews.
Yeah. It's no.
It has to be comments.
What do you mean?
Is it
Reviews?
ratings? Is it rating? 61,000
Oh, ratings.
ratings.
Okay,
Ratings.
I'm
Or
like
ratings.
61,000 reviews.
Sorry.
No
ratings,
way.
ratings.
Okay, that makes
Ratings.
sense.
I
Yep.
think there's
Sure.
Sorry about
sure.
that. And its overall rating is 8.0.
Wow.
I
And it's
know.
number 26?
Called Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay.
Puerto
This has been around
Rico.
for a long, long
Yeah.
time. Yep. Follow the leader type game.
All right, let's see what
We
the
put that,
haters
I know.
have to say. Cleo's Pack says the mechanics of the game are all right, but the theme of this game is pretty gross.
Okay, so let's explain a little bit about that. Do you know anything about the theme? In your findings,
I have gathered some things about it.
Okay, you
from
tell
what
us the
I've
theme.
read. I don't know the theme.
there is basically. So
I
remember
know
the
there's
Five Tribes
something
controversy?
about like
Yeah.
slaves.
It's a little, yeah, it's a little bit about that. And the slaves are, I think, like black cubes.
But they call
Or
them
like-
colonists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a little controversial stuff around
Yeah.
this. There has been forever about
Yeah.
this game. So that's it. Okay, go on.
Egg Timer says
So we can't laugh at that
Big
one.
timer.
terrible, boring game. Anyone who likes this type of game should be ashamed.
Oh my god! Just walking
You
around.
should be
like,
ashamed
when you
of
walked into
yourself.
work one day and people were like, "Are you okay?" And you're like, "I'm ashamed."
I'm ashamed.
Of
Why?
what?
I like
played,
Puerto Rico.
I played Puerto Rico and I liked
like
it.
it.
Boy,
You
we
should be
can't be
ashamed of
friends.
yourself.
Blinky JOH says,
JOH.
have you ever been so shaken after a game that you just want to burn all your games?
Yes.
Like a recent game of Puerto Rico makes me think, maybe you're too young, but do you remember the Family Ties where Alex, the brains of the family, and Mallory, the dunce, took IQ tests and Mallory beat Alex?
I do remember that
Not
episode.
just once, but multiple times, and Alex's life turned upside down? That's Puerto Rico to me.
So what does he mean?
Whoa! So Puerto Rico made him want to rethink his entire
Because
life.
did he feel
of what a
stupid
good
after
game
playing?
is.
Is it like he felt dumb after playing it?
I thought it like flipped his life around, going like, people like this game. How can I I have to
because,
rethink
like,
what
I
I
can't-
like in my life?
Okay.
Yeah, that could be.
And apparently he wants to burn all of his games.
He says he was so
Ugh.
shaken.
Why don't you just give them to me instead?
Yeah, right.
Sir
Come on, guy.
Psycho Sexy says,
What?
Sir Psycho Sexy.
Sir Psycho Sexy?
So he's a knight.
yeah.
said,
He's been knighted.
Sir,
He was Psycho Sexy, and I dub thee.
Yeah, my name is Joe Psycho Sexy. What is it? Psycho Sexy? What
Sir
is it?
Psycho
Psycho
Sexy,
Sexy.
the
let
third.
me tell you, he did not like this game at all.
Well, he's a knight.
Oh
so
boy.
I listened to what he
Is that
said.
what he said? He did not. He said it as he.
No, he said, I did not like this game
I'm
at
like,
all.
wow, he's taking this knight thing seriously.
Yeah.
Kane,
Clanko.
AAA, Kane AAA, I don't know.
Kana.
This game is more boring than watching paint watch paint dry.
Watching paint
It's
watch
dull,
paint dry?
dull, dull.
Wait, hold on. Did he say watching paint watch paint dry? Or watching
paint watch
paint
Said
dry?
watching paint watch paint dry. It's dull, dull, dull.
So you're like
watching
you like,
someone
you
watch
like paint on
something.
the wall, then you buy some paint, you open it up, and you're like, look at this.
Yeah, and it's like, wow.
And then
that's
you
boring.
watch it.
But you
and
have to
it
watch that
watches
one.
it.
Not
Yeah, you
the,
watch
not
that one, not the
other
wall.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds a little bit more interesting than just regular watching paint
I
dry.
agree. Yeah. What do you think about this, buddy?
Man.
Matt Hisk says, 10 minutes into this, I wanted out to play something else. When I first came aboard BGG, I thought I needed to play this because it was number 1 and it should be fun. Not. This really doesn't have a fun factor and is dry as hell.
Well, this was number 1 for a while?
This suit is black, not.
Okay.
That suit is not black.
Yeah.
Not.
Pro player says, a serious nerdish game.
Oh, he's a pro player.
Wow, pro.
And he used the word nerd.
In where? Where does
Like
he?
you're on
Where does he?
BGG
Pro?
doing your
Yeah,
rating.
Right. There's
Aren't
the
you a
word
nerd?
geek is in the
And you
site
call
of which
yourself
you're on.
a pro player.
A pro player. Wow.
On a site for board games.
Yeah. Go back to your basement, you neck-bearded freak.
You
Oh,
fucking chud.
man. Magical Gamer says, blah. You might be able to tell that I'm not a Puerto Rico fanboy.
Ooh, fanboy.
From writing blah.
I know.
Wow. Way
What
to
do you think?
Man, way to beat that game
Yeah.
down. What did you got? Way to give it an ass whooping.
Yeah, boom, blah.
Board game ass whooping.
Nightfend says, ever have a game you hate for no logical reason? Well, Puerto Rico is that game for me. I really hate the game. The kind of hate usually reserved only for the lowest levels of hell. Fortunately, everyone else I know likes this game, and so we play it on a regular basis.
You know, I can feel that guy.
I've been there.
I can feel that
Yep.
guy.
I've hated
There's some
games where I'm like, why? I don't know. Just hate
just
it.
don't like
Just
it.
didn't
yeah,
like
I
it.
just don't want to play this ever again.
Yep.
I kind of felt that way. I wouldn't say I hated it, but Railways of the World. I know Bill loves that game.
Yeah.
Eric loved
That
that game.
never
And
clicked
I
with
just
me.
was never a big fan of that. And they'd play it, I'm like, okay. But in my head, I'm like,
Yeah, because
no.
when I play it, I'm like, mechanisms are fine.
It's not
The game's
bad.
not broken
Yeah.
by any means.
It's ugly
I'm like,
though, and
no
the
thanks.
theme is bad,
Yeah.
and Eric's too good at it, and so I don't want to play that.
Simon Mueller says, so he had an old comment that he originally put.
Okay.
that
Oh, and then he
says-
updated it.
Yeah, and he says, I will never play a game which incorporates slavery in such a naive way.
Sure.
Okay.
But then he wrote, oh gosh, I played it, and it's really bad.
Well, what a hypocritical freak. He just said, I will never play it, and then he played it.
Yeah.
At least he hated it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That's true.
Idflan? I don't know.
Idflan?
Idflan.
Is a flan? Is flan like the Jello kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that, like Spanish
Fight your Idflan.
dessert kind of.
Okay, sure.
Why can't these designers acknowledge the awful reality that was Puerto Rico by naming the playing pieces for what they really represent? Colonists, my butt. The dark counters represent slaves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that's a big controversy.
And I don't know if
for
they've
that
ever like addressed that in more recent prints.
I don't think
because
so.
I know with Five Tribes. So
Yeah, they
how,
took
the
it
Five
out.
Tribes controversy they had cards that they in the directions called slaves, like they called them slaves, and the picture was
Looked like slavery, right?
yeah, picture was someone in like shackles, and it's like, fuck, how did that get
man.
through playtesting?
Yeah.
How did that get through art? How did what happened is you have a room full of the same looking people looking at a game and not seeing a problem with that, which is
Right.
that's a huge problem. But in recent printings, they've changed the name and they've changed the artwork on there to like, I don't know if they call them viziers or something.
Yeah, something.
that-
It's definitely different.
it's something where they're
They made an attempt to fix
they
it.
did make an attempt to fix it after outrage. It shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not sure what Puerto Rico has done since. but
Yeah.
we got
Right.
sued.
Some of these
it's
comments
over.
could have been from 2010. Like, they're not, they're all over
Yeah.
the place.
Uh-huh.
And well deserved from 2010 anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So these last ones, I called it speed round because I know Ryan really likes the short, simple
All right.
comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Here we
I don't
go.
even have who wrote them.
I
I
like
just
these
was
Yeah.
gonna
Oh,
read them
love
off.
this.
Ready?
Okay, go ahead.
Horrid. I just didn't like it. Just kept thinking, when will this get fun? Spare me the tedium. Work in a box. A dull group
Work in a
solitaire.
box.
So overrated. Much overrated. I hate this game, and I mean
Mucho.
hate it. Boring enough. I've rarely been so bored while playing a game. Worst game ever. It's only okay. Ugly production and ugly feel of play. Boring as piss and incredibly racist.
Wham.
as piss.
Boring as piss. Sometimes piss can feel awesome.
Oh yeah.
Taking a good pee.
That was like a bunch of jabs
That's
to end the
amazing.
round.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
ugh,
Yeah, it's like
poof,
bells
bam,
about to
whip,
ring.
boom.
Yeah,
It's like Batman's fighting like those guys on like the old wham,
bang.
smack, kaboom. How do you feel now, Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
You have been
Probably pretty good because
severely
your rating's
beat
8.0,
down.
but
you're still-
Well, I would say no because it's now ranked. You said 26th for a
Yeah.
long time. It was in the top 3 for a
Really?
long time. It's now it's
that's-
fallen
But it's
from
old
grace.
slipping.
It's old. It's
It is.
very very
There's a lot
high
of- I
for
didn't
its
put this
rank.
in there, but I saw a lot of comments that said things like it feels
Or for its
aged.
year.
It feels
Yeah, people.
Well, sure. I mean, it's old, you know.
People have that on like some of their like Mount Rushmore of games. You know,
Yeah.
like that being like these pillars of games.
And it's funny
Puerto
because it's
Rico
not
being
even
one of
that
them.
old. I mean, it's
Yeah,
it's
I know.
old in the grand scheme of life, though. It's like it's a board game that's only been around, like 20
Yeah.
years. It's not like it's
Yeah, how old is
Yeah.
it? Do we know? Who cares?
Yeah, when was it designed? I'm going to look it up right now because it's called
looking it up.
Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. I didn't spell it right.
Puerto Rico. It's gonna be like
Puerto Rico.
it was established in
Spelled like
1420.
2002. So yeah, it's about 20 years old.
All right.
And which is not that old. It's
not
but
that old,
but
but
that's like a it's
in
like
this
a new
crazy hobby.
It's like a new
Yeah.
classic kind of
Yeah,
thing, you
yeah.
know. So awesome. You got beat down. So for today, you wascally wabbits, I have a game that's going to make us all wet the bed with laughter.
Oh god.
Remember the episode of The Office where they turn on the black light, Jeff?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like,
Well, what is that?
Michael, what is that? He's like, Dwight's like, it's either blood, urine, or semen. And then Michael's like,
It's like, God, I hope it's urine.
I hope it's urine.
It's better than the other two.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's just so funny. They're sleeping there, and it's like
Yeah.
all over the
God,
bed
I
and the
hope it's
wall.
urine.
Oh God, I hope it's urine. Anyway, in today's game, we are going back to the cooperative game where Natalie will try. Actually, I'm sorry, Jeff will try to get Natalie to guess as many games as possible by saying whatever the heck he can say other than the name of the game.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys remember this one?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have 30 games for you. I'm going to set a timer here. Jeff, I'm going to give you the list in just a second. I think if I go to my clock,
Oh boy.
there'll be a
Ready for
timer.
this?
Yes,
It's
here's
gonna
a
be
timer.
bad, isn't it?
All right. So, okay, I'm going to give Jeff the list right now. Let me just double check
I
that
know
the
these
recording
games.
is going
There's
good.
30 games you've never played.
You, there's a couple tricky ones maybe, but most of them you've both, like you're going to, Jeff, you're
Okay.
going to be able to, I can't turn it too far. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, so you can, when you're ready to go to the down,
keep
or you
going
can
down.
use this too.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to start the timer in just a minute. You have 3 minutes to successfully guess as many of these games as you can. Are you ready? On your mark.
Okay.
How do I do this? 3, 0, 0, go.
It's a new game about butterflies.
Mariposa.
Yes. This is a cute little game with fun art. There's like creatures in a forest.
Root.
Yes. It's a game that you just play that has a cat on the cover.
Calico.
This is a game about wine.
Viticulture.
This is a game that Ryan freaked out and ran to a boiler room at Dave's house. Ryan loved it.
Euphoria?
Yes, don't worry. This is one of our favorite games. It takes place in
Underwater
wet
City?
places. Okay, yes. This is a game with wiggly woms or whatever you call them.
It wishes we're fishing.
Yes,
Jeff.
this is a game you just play where there's a bunch of photographs that you just played over at Ben & M's, and you make
pictures.
things. Yeah. One of Ryan's favorite games of all time. You're like
Star Wars
this alien.
Destiny.
You're this alien race, and you're competing for
Cosmic
planets.
Encounter.
Yes. This is a game where you don't want to be in tight places because that's a fear of yours. You have a fear of being in tight
Claustrophobia.
places. Yes. We talked about this game earlier. It has beautiful colored dice and windows.
Sagrada.
Yes. This is this is also one of Ryan's favorite games by
2
Chip
minutes.
Theory. He plays it alone by himself.
Too many bones.
Yep. This is a game where you flick things into a hole.
Crokinole.
Yes. This is a game where you are marching through. You're just playing the legacy version of it. You only played about 5 or 6 of them.
Oh, what?
what?
Clank.
Okay.
Nice,
This is
nice.
a game where all of your ship blows up. We played it at Joe's all-night party thing, and it was the first time you ever played it.
Oh, Galaxy Trucker.
Yes.
Wow.
This is a game that is
Halfway done.
less than 2, and is a game where you draw on
Just
that.
one.
Yeah. Okay. It's a game where you slide cards into other cards to make
Custom
sweet
heroes.
cards. All right. It's a game where you're trying to find a monster. It's a deduction game. You love it.
Cryptid.
Yes. This is a game that is sitting over there on that shelf that you've never played that I gave to you.
Anime.
Yes. This is a game where
We'll play it, I
you
promise.
are making words kind of like Scrabble, and it comes in the shape of a fruit.
Letter jam. No. Yes?
No.
Oh.
It comes in a fruit.
Fruit. Oh. Comes in a fruit?
Yes. It comes in the shape of a fruit.
Nanogram.
Yes, anagram. Okay. This is a game where you
1
roll
minute.
dice, and there is a sign, and you're moving a little cone up, and you just have to keep rolling and rolling and
Can't
rolling.
stop?
Because can't stop. This is one of your favorite games you just told Ryan to set up on the table that I just played recently.
Set up on the table?
By Stefan
Pendulum?
Feld.
Oh, wait. Oh, what? Castle of Burgundy.
Yes.
I'm like, how are you not
All
getting that?
We also played this at the all-night thing where you're this
35
treasure
seconds.
hunter. You're a treasure hunter, and you're going into the ocean finding treasure.
Wait, Wreck Raiders?
No.
No. Deep Blue.
Deep Blue. Okay. This
30
is a
seconds.
game where you are trying to figure out how much of a color is in a card.
Illusion.
Yes. It's a game where you're rolling, you're trying to take over a city in Japan
20 seconds.
with big, gigantic monsters.
Rampage?
No.
15 seconds.
What?
Okay, I'm pass. They're where you have oh man, I can't say that word. Okay, moving on. A game that we say very pretentiously that you reach into a bag and pull out workers.
Orleans.
Orleans.
Am I done?
Done.
Okay.
Wow, you did so good.
Good job.
You did so good. Stop the timer. You
described them really
you only
good.
missed like 4, right?
Yeah, I think
you
we-
missed 1,
yeah.
2, 3, 4.
What was the
Wow.
Japan one?
King of Tokyo.
Oh, okay.
Yep. King of Tokyo. So you missed King of Tokyo. Jeff didn't get to. Oh, I think you might have skipped Letter Jam too.
I skipped letter jam because I was like, you're gonna have letters in front of you. But I can't say letter,
You're like,
right?
oh
'Cause there's
gosh, how do I
letter
do
jam.
that?
Yeah.
And then he didn't get to Rajas of the Ganges, Scarabia, and Saikatsu. That was amazing.
Wow.
You
Good job.
guys. You did
So like
fantastic.
26?
Yeah,
I think.
or 25. I think 25.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, you missed 5.
I know. I feel like we were like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, that was we had
You
like
should
a
have seen
moment
Natalie's
where we
face. You probably were watching it, but she was looking at me like,
I was.
yeah, you were like, he pushes through fishes. Pictures. Cosmo and Connor.
Yeah. Well, it's good we played a
I
lot of
like
those
that.
together. Have like
Yeah, you have,
that's a
like,
fun one.
Inside things. to
Nice
say.
job. Nice job. That was fantastic. So, in today's top 5, we are going to go with one that I can't believe we've never done before.
Yeah.
We're all so terrible about remembering what stuff we have and haven't done.
Yep.
I need to start a spreadsheet. I talk about this all the time and go back to be like, these are the top 5s we've done before, because almost every single time it's hilarious. But I'm like, okay, let's do the top 5 this. And Jeff or Natalie will be like, I think we did that already. And I have to go back and be like, oh shit, yeah, we did. Or no, we didn't. We did something sort of like that. But so it's always, it happens every
Yeah,
single time.
we need to make a spreadsheet.
Right.
Yeah, we'll make a spreadsheet and that'll happen soon. But so this time we are doing top 5 board game designers. I'm pretty certain we have not done this one before. So with that, we're going to go Jeff. We're going to start with Jeff, then go me and end with Natalie this time. So Jeff, if you have preamble, go ahead and hit us with that before your number 5.
I got preamble.
I know you do.
Now,
Okay.
there are lots of game
Oh my
designers
God.
that
Oh my God,
are
so
amazing. And I'll get to some of these ones that are on my honorable mention that I don't necessarily like love every game they come out with, but man, when they come out with a game, I pay attention to it, or
notice.
I look it up, or I take notice. So there's a mixture in my top 5 of games of publishers that I always take notice to when they publish a game or design a game, and then also my favorite that I know, like, you know, of my top 10 games, there are 3 by this designer in my top
right.
10, so it has to be one
Gotta
of my
be
favorites.
on there. Shout.
So I'm going to start with one that maybe is on both of your lists. I'm going to go with a guy named Wolfgang Warsch.
Oh, the Varsh.
The
Wolfgang
Warsch.
That's a good
So
I love saying his name
the
so much.
Warsch.
I know.
Wolfgang
has-
Warsch.
If you don't know, he's done the Quacks of Quedlinburg. He's
it.
done the
Yeah.
Mind.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
done Wavelength.
Yep.
He's done
The Doi Dog to
Ganshon's-
Dasketall.
Yep, the Doi Dog to Dasketall.
Yeah,
or Taverns
Ganshon's
of
clever.
Clever. Ganshon Clever. So he's done some
Double Chew
games
Clever.
that
Illusion.
Illusion, right?
Illusion that I really really enjoy.
Damn,
You know, I don't know
good.
if like Quacks is in my top 10. I just love Quacks.
Yeah, for sure.
Me too.
But like, is Wavelength my favorite game of all time? No, but I have
but it's
so much
really
fun
good.
playing it. The
Yeah.
Mind again. That's
With the 4 of us, yeah.
and I
amazing.
take note when he has a game that comes out now because of those games. I'm like, a Varsh game. I got to pay attention to it. I want to look at it.
Yeah.
So that's my number 5.
That's amazing.
good one.
Wow. My number 5 is a designer. So I have, just like Jeff, I have a buttload of designers I could have picked from. And so this spot could really have been filled by any of the ones that didn't quite make the cut.
Like 10 other people.
I
Yeah.
chose this designer specifically because I feel like his designs, there's nobody out there who creates games even close to the way this guy creates games. And this is Vlada Chvátil. So he has done games like Codenames, Galaxy Trucker, Dungeon Lords, Mage Knight, Through the Ages. What's that one?
Big
Bunny Bunny
variety.
Moose Moose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Stuff, weird stuff to like okay, Codenames has got to be one of the biggest hits of all time.
like, party game.
And that is a party game.
Yeah.
And then he's designed a game like Dungeon Lords or Dungeon Pets. That's just like a really heavy, meaty,
Yeah.
worker placement. Or he's got Through the Ages, which has always been in the top 5 on BGG for many years. I don't even know what it is. That might be a little lower, but still for many,
It's pretty
many,
high.
many years. And that's the same guy that designed Codenames. What the
know.
heck? His rule books are always hilarious. They're
They are.
really well written. Yeah, I want you to read the Galaxy Trucker rule book. It's so funny. Mage Knight is like one of like the best solo games of all time. It's so great. Anytime a Vlada game comes out, I get antsy because you never know what it's going to be. Is this going to be like some deep strategic game, or is it going to be some really awesome lightweight party game that's going to take the world by storm? So that is my number 5, Vlada Chvátil.
Nice.
Natalie, what is your number 5?
So I'll just do a little preamble like Jeff. to say how I came up with mine, which was, I mean, I'm not the most informed person when it comes to designers. I obviously doing this podcast, I'm a lot more familiar than I've ever been with different designers, and was very proud that I came up with a bunch on my own.
Yes, I am proud of you as well.
But what I did was kind of came up with some designers, wrote down the games that I've played that they've designed, and then looked at those lists of games to determine, which ones I like best. And so kind of similar to you, it was kind of easier to do like 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and 5. I'm like, it could be literally any of these rest of this list interchangeably because they're all really good. But for my number 5, I felt obligated to go with my boy, Alexander Pfister.
Your boy.
I'm surprised he's not at number 1.
Me too. That's kind of blowing
Honestly,
my mind right now.
I didn't even put him in the top 5.
Whoa!
Because some of
Wait a
these-
minute. We've been calling him your boy, and there's 5 other
No,
boys.
well, you
listening
called
to
my
this.
boy. I didn't tell him my boy.
There's 5 other boys. Poor Pfister. He
Man.
follows us. Now he's going to...
Mombasa,
Oh, man.
Great Western Trail,
Dad Bossa.
Maracaibo. What did you say?
We both said Dad Bossa.
At the same time.
Are really good games, and I gotta get my boy on this list.
He's your boy. Get him on this list.
Boy.
That's awesome. All right, Jeff, after that mind-blowing thing, what's your number 4?
Mind blowing.
What's your number 4, man?
My number 4 is Michael Kiesling.
Oh, yeah, part of the duo, Kiesling and Kramer.
So Kiesling and Kramer have games together. Michael Kiesling does games on his own.
Yep.
Kramer does games on his own.
Yep.
So I can lump them together, but I'm going to focus on Michael Kiesling.
I like it.
I look at a massive amount of his games and I go, none of them are my top 2, but I own a lot of them. I love a lot of them, and I always take note when he designs something. So all the Azules are him, Tikal is him, Heaven and Nail, Torres, Colbaron, Palaces of Carrara. He has a ton of awesome games. So it's my
amazing. He is a great choice. He will show up on my honorable mentions list for sure.
Okay.
My number 4 is one that we just learned Natalie hates, and this is Alexander Pfister.
Oh.
Barely knew her. So yeah,
hate him. What are you talking about?
he was only your number 5.
Number 5.
Jeez, that's like the toilet. So Maracaibo, Dad Bossa, Isle of Skye, Oh My Goods, Great Western Trail, Room Service, and games like
Service.
that.
Do you know he won
Here we
the
go.
game
Here
of
we
the
go.
year for a game that you both just brushed over?
Well, I've never played
Has he
it. That's
won?
why I brushed over.
Has he won the Spiel more than that? Does he have one
No,
Spiel
I
the
think
as winner?
Isle of Skye might have won the Kenner Spiel.
I don't know.
Maybe not. I could be wrong.
Maybe
I could be
it
wrong.
did too.
I don't.
But
I
he
don't-
won it for Broom Service.
He did win it for Broom Service. Now, despite
And that's a game you just went. Broom
despite
Service.
that black mark on his record,
Oh man, it's so good. Broom Service.
he
so
is
fun.
my number 4 designer of all time
Yeah.
because his big box games are so good. I mean, Jeff,
Yeah.
remember we played Maracaibo?
Yeah.
How good that
Great.
was? And Natalie and I played Dad Bossa, and we fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Natalie loves Great Western Trail. We tried to play that again just recently. I know I'm going to love that when we play that
Yeah.
again. Isle of Skye is just so
Isle of Skye's
good,
great.
man. Isle of Skye's good. Oh My Goods is really, really good. And he's got that new...
like
Maracaibo too.
He's like New
yeah,
Dale.
New Dale, the Expedition to New Dale. I think
it's an
which
Oh My
is-
Goods
Oh My
world,
Goods,
right, or
world.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that universe. And
I
he's
always
just got,
get-
and then he's got the
Cloud
new
Age
one coming
coming
out,
out.
Cloud Age, which
Yeah.
I pre-ordered, and I'm super jazzed up about
pumped
that.
that you pre-ordered
so
that.
even though Natalie hates it, Jeff and I are really excited about Alexander
He's in my
Pfister.
top 5.
He's in my top 5.
I know. All right, Natalie, what is your number 4?
Who is better than Alexander Pfister? Let's hear it.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about this.
Well, okay. Oh man, I can't decide between these two.
Wait, what do you mean? You haven't had your list already?
Well, I'm talking about my number 5. I got number 4. I had 3 different ones. I knocked one off because Jeff said it. So I was hoping I could knock another one off so I could narrow it down.
Oh, Varsh. Varsh was
So I
okay.
knocked off the Varsh.
Yeah, I thought Varsh would be high for you too,
Okay.
because how much you love those
I
games.
know
dun,
quacks.
dun, dun,
I
dun.
Quacks
know.
in the mind, you
Yeah.
love them.
Oh
All right,
gosh,
pick one
which
then,
one
girl.
do I pick?
We don't know.
I'll
We can't
just
see your
go
book.
with Uwe Rosenberg
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
because I mean
He's a
I
designer,
played
you know.
I might have played more of his games than any other designer's
Probably.
games. Bonanza, awesome.
Awesome.
Caverna, awesome. Patchwork, awesome. Fields of Arle, awesome. Feast for Odin, awesome.
You like Second Chance too?
Second Chance. Yeah.
I have a new one for him coming out called New York Zoo.
Yes, New York Zoo.
That's coming.
I'm excited to play
I got that coming.
He
I
just
can't wait.
seems like a classic.
Polyomino.
Yep. Polyomino.
A person who comes out with games and they're always good, except for Raycole, and just like a classic
Yeah,
except for Raycole.
game
But,
design.
but you're right. When an Uwe game comes out, you're like,
Yep.
check it
mine.
out. I have to click on it. I have to look at it. I have
Doesn't
to see
matter
it.
what it is. I'll
Agreed.
try it.
Oh,
Yep.
also, he also designed Nova Luna,
Yeah, Nova Luna, good one.
which we
Yeah.
love.
Yes.
So, Jeff, what about you, man? What is your number 3?
My number 3 could be on. Maybe I'll pause. Maybe I'll let Natalie pick that one. Number 3, I'm going to take. Just going to go on the
we're
Stonemeyer
drafting
train. I'm going to go with Jamie Stegmaier.
I figured that was one I was like, Jeff's going to have this for sure.
And I would say, again, none of these games are necessarily my top 5, but I always look forward to one of his games. I think Viticulture is great. I'm having a blast with Charterstone.
Euphoria.
I look forward to playing Tapestry and seeing how that goes. Euphoria was a friggin' blast.
Oh, my God.
Like,
Yeah, it was.
So when he comes out with a game, I definitely take note. I want to look into it. I want to play it.
And I would say I
So-
even liked Scythe. Scythe was good.
Yeah, and people love
That's
Scythe.
like
That's
one
like
of the most popular games.
Yeah,
I
and
feel
It's
like.
not my favorite, but
it
was good.
You look at the, he's got 2 games with Viticulture and Scythe in the top 20, and Charterstone within probably top 100, I would think maybe,
Tapestry's
but
really popular.
and Tapestry's flying up there too. So yeah, Jamie Stegmaier would be one of my favorites as well.
That's a
My
very
3.
good choice, and that's one I was like, okay, Jeff's gonna have that. There's a
Yeah.
couple. I think I know Jeff. I really thought I knew you. Guess I don't.
I think I'm gonna
Guess I don't
surprise
know you
you.
like I thought. Number 3 for me is a designer. I think we might have talked about before the recording, Jeff, a little bit, but my number 3 is a man who designs the heaviest games, I would say, as a collective in the industry, Vital Lacerda.
Yep.
Yep.
So every game I've played of his, I have loved. Every one of them. Vinos, I loved that. Remember we played that with Eric
Yeah,
a long
that was
time ago?
great.
Great game. CO2, oh my gosh. Actually, I would say every game I play of his is my favorite. And then I play another one, I'm like, that's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
I think On Mars has cemented itself as my favorite of his designs. But every time I play one of his, I'm like, oh my God, they're so good. We got Kanban coming soon.
Yes.
That's one of the
I'm
only
pumped.
2 of his I haven't played.
very talented.
I have Escape Plan. I haven't played that yet. Got to get that done. It's just hard because his games are so lengthy.
Vinos the first one?
Vinos was his first design.
Yeah, I
then
really
I
wanna
think
play
CO2,
that
then
still.
Kanban, then the Gallerist, then Lisboa, then Escape Plan, then On Mars, and he's got one coming out called Mercado de Lisboa, which hits
Oh,
Kickstarter
yeah.
on the 4th of September, and that is basically it distills one of the Lisboa mechanics into like a little filler game. So it's like a half-hour kind of game from him,
And
which
that's
I'm excited to
something
look
that's
for.
something that he doesn't have in his
Yeah, he doesn't
portfolio.
have a filler.
He doesn't have that small
I think he
thing.
has a little kids game that he came out with a long
really?
time ago,
Cool.
but not a filler. So that's my number 3, Vital Lacerda. Natalie, what about you?
My number. Okay, so I just want to say that was the other one for my last one. I was like Vital Lacerda or Uwe Rosenberg. I can't decide.
Okay.
So, but I figured you would have them, so I'll let you have
I did.
My number
Boom.
3 is Simone Luciani,
Yeah.
who
Nice.
designed Lorenzo, which we love.
Loved.
Voyages of Marco Polo,
Yep.
Grand Austria Hotel,
Oh.
Newton, Barrage,
You gotta play
Masters of Renaissance.
Yeah,
it's good.
Main man.
Main
Like,
man.
how could I?
He's your
I-
main,
He's your main
so
man.
he's your main man.
Oh, okay.
All right. Poor fisted
main
boy.
man. I said I mean man.
Oh, they said main
Main
man.
man.
But yeah, I just looked at that list and I was like, wow, like yes to all of those.
Stud.
So
Yeah.
how could I not
He's a
put
stud.
him pretty
He's a
high
muffin.
up on the list?
One
Nice.
muffin.
That's fantastic. Jeff, what about you, man? What is your number 2?
Number 2. Man, what's Natalie's
Who
1
does
and
that
2?
number
surprising?
2 work
I don't want to be.
Was that surprising to you?
Kinda. Yeah, it was kind of surprising to me.
I was hoping.
Okay, my number 2 is Natalie has to have this.
He's like, eeny, meeny,
She
miny.
has
know.
to have this.
I can't wait to see what
She
you're
has
gonna
to
pick.
have this
What's
too.
What's it gonna be?
I think I just have to go with Stefan Feld.
Yeah, nice. Feld condom.
Stefan Feld, number 2. Trajan, Castle of Burgundy, Bora Bora, and a million other games.
Right.
Yeah.
What does that guy do that's not amazing?
But to think of Trajan and Castle of Burgundy being 2 games in my top 10, I have to pick him. I know it's probably going to be on Natalie's list, so I would have a sub in there, but which I'll tell you at the end. But
Yeah, okay.
yeah, Stefan Feld being one again. I look forward to his games when they come out. Stefan Feld games come out. Gotta look it up. And I think he's got a new one like coming out soonish.
He does.
And
And
I looked at
it looked so
and
good.
I'm like, oh, I can look at it.
Those player boards. Oh my
Yeah,
God, it looks so
so-
good. So you know how we were talking earlier, and we said, if there's a poll of who's the best game designer of all time, I think maybe Reiner Knizia probably comes out on top if you poll the entire
doctor.
audience. I will bet you Stefan Feld is probably close in the top 5 of that.
And Stefan Feld is a principal, and we got to meet him at Gen
Yeah,
Con.
Gen Con.
and
Joe
just
played a
like,
game
he's just
with
like
him.
he's like a principal. Like,
a principal.
Gotta stick with my education.
Can you
dudes.
believe
Yeah.
that? Right. That's awesome. My number 2 is the biggest cop-out in the world. Danielle Tascini, Simone Luciani,
Oh,
Virginio Gilli, and Flaminia Brazzini. Because of what Natalie said. They, as a collective, have designed these following games. Lorenzo, Grand Austria Hotel, Coimbra, Newton, Teotihuacan, Zulk and the Mayan Calendar, Barrage, the new one, Alma Mater coming out, and Tekkenu.
It's an impressive list.
Oh my gosh. There's not a stinker in the bunch.
Nope.
Those are all. Which one's the worst one out of those? You can't pick that.
Barrage.
That team.
Natalie picked it. Oh, you can pick it all right.
Yeah, okay. You say that, right. But some people, a lot of people, Barrage was their game of the year last
know.
year.
Yeah.
So the pedigree of these designers is, and these are the designers, these aren't household names totally. Maybe Simone Luciani, but these designers are not household names, I would say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, Barrage was a good game. It
was a good game.
I didn't get it. I didn't
Yeah,
play
of
it.
course.
But
Well, yeah, I know. That was hilarious. But those guys have designed some incredible games. Every single time one of those comes out, I want it. Takenu, pre-ordered it. Just because Danielle Tashini's name's on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tawan Tensunu, like all those kinds of games coming out, although I think that's David Tercey. But still, those games are freaking outstanding. So that is my number 2. Danielle Tashini, Simone Luciani, Virginio Gilli, and Flaminia Brazzini.
It's all one name.
Natalie, what is your number 2?
I have a strong feeling me and Jeff have the same number 1 and number 2.
Uh-oh.
My number 1 is my number 2 is Steffenfeld.
Okay, so
right.
condom.
Because I mean, like Jeff said, Castles of Burgundy, Trajan, Bruges, Carpe Diem.
Yeah,
I mean, we
yeah.
just
Love those.
talked about having a Steffenfeld day because, like, we just want to have a day where we play all of his
games.
games
Yeah,
just
because
that'll get
I
your libido
love
up.
every single one of them.
It's been back,
And-
baby.
Oh, man,
It's
the
been
libido.
thumping.
Yeah. Thumping.
Ryan's libido is thumping.
That's why they call me Thumper.
Yeah. Wait, can we just pause for a second
No.
and say, as soon as Ryan announced to the world 2 weeks ago
That's all
on
I
the
needed, I think.
podcast
Yeah.
that his gaming
That's
libido was...
That's their first step, right?
Yep.
It's admission.
You
Yeah.
accept.
I
You accept
I-
it.
It had to be like 1 or 2 days later, and it was like back in full force. And I'm like, would you
Boom.
just have to tell the world, and now it's back?
I think
Like,
so.
Back.
Yeah,
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm really excited about. I mean, just yesterday I had a blast, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't wait to play more. So hell yeah.
Yeah, but anyway,
So
Steffenfeld
Steffenfeld kind of.
and that was, I mean, he could have been number 1. I don't know. It's so hard to pick.
I still think Alexander Pfister is going to be number 1 for.
Yeah, it's
He's
gonna-
number 5
Go
and
back.
number 1.
That's how much you like.
Yeah.
I really like Steffenfeld.
All right, Jeff,
games.
it's time.
My number 1, I'm going to give you your number 1. I think it's different. My number 1 is Bruno Cathala.
Yeah, that's kind of what I picked. That's what I picked for Jeff.
Okay.
So Bruno Cathala could be any, like these top 3 could be any
Yeah.
1, 2, or 3.
He loves
Bruno
Bruno
Cathala,
Cathala.
5 Tribes, Mr. Jack, Abyss, 7 Wonders Duel, Kanagawa, King Domino, Yamatai, Ishtar, Imaginarium. These games,
Oh, he designed Imaginarium?
yeah.
Oh.
So he's been doing a lot of like Bruno Cathala and someone else.
Yeah,
But
he does
again,
a lot of that.
I look forward to playing his games, and I look forward to when one of those comes out. And I would say out of this list, 5 Tribes is by far my favorite and one of my
those
favorite
games?
games of all time. But is Mr. Jack one of my favorite games of all time? No, but it's awesome. Mr. Jack is such a cool game.
Great game.
Abyss, people love Abyss. Ryan
Not me.
doesn't. 7 Wonders
do,
Duel,
though.
people live by.
Oh, that's yeah.
Kanagawa with beautiful art is a great
wanna
game.
play
King
that.
Domino, like
Yep.
intro
Yes.
into games,
Yeah.
and King Domino has now his design has spun off into Queen Domino, King
Mm-hmm.
Domino Duel, Dragamino just came out from
Yeah.
Blue Orange. It's just when he does things, it seems to make waves in the
He's a
industry.
fantastic
Yeah.
designer.
Yeah.
Yep, I knew he'd be on your list. I wasn't totally sure he'd be number 1, but I knew he'd be on your list.
Yeah, I have just 5.
Yeah,
and
you're
I was
just
kind of throwing them together.
Throwing them
See?
together.
Yeah.
Sure. My number 1, I think, is probably going to be guessed by you guys. Maybe. Do you guys know what my number 1 might be?
I was thinking Vlada Chvátil was going
For my
to be
number
your
1? Did you? Okay.
I have I have another guess.
I'm not sure.
My number 1 is my boy, big ol' Uwe Rosenberg.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I mean, Natalie
kinda
talked
knew
about him
that,
already,
yeah.
but Caverna, Bonanza, Patchwork, Le Havre, Aura at Labora, Glass Road even is really good.
Yeah, that's a good
Loyang.
game.
Yeah, At the Gates of Loyang was fantastic. I mean, he doesn't really design a bad game. We didn't like Ray
Bonanza.
Colt. Yeah, Bonanza. We didn't like Ray Colt that much.
Everybody's got.
But everyone's got to have one. You know what I mean? He's one that Jeff talked about this. He's one that when a game comes out by him, I want it.
Yep.
I don't even just like take notice. I want it. Like it's mine. Bring it
Yeah.
to me. New York Zoo, coming to me. Right? Nova Luna. I was like, just give it to me.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's like 3 games of his that I'm really kind of like disappointed in myself that I haven't played, and it's his Polyomino trilogy. I haven't played any of those.
Oh, the Cottage Garden.
Yeah, and
I played 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, I know Bill has Indian Summer. I
Yeah, that
think,
one
and
I
that's
think
one he
I've
likes the
played.
most. And so I want to play those at some point, but I don't. I've heard so many, like those have been out enough time where I've heard so many reviews that I don't want to just go out and buy them immediately. But I want to play all these games because Uwe is my boy.
Your boy.
All right, that's my boy. So Natalie, it's time for you.
Are you
Think
guessing?
Yep, that's my guess.
My number 1 is Vladimir Suchi.
Jeff got it.
I guess I
Yep.
underlined
Jeff got
that.
it.
That was on my
Underlined it.
list, but I really thought it was going to be on yours. so I
Oh
wanted
man,
to-
Underwater Cities and Pulsar.
Yeah.
Those are two
Yep.
of like the best games I've ever played.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know you love those.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
I know.
It was
Underwater
hard.
Cities, that
Stefan
last
Feld,
play.
too, I really like all of his games, but Underwater Cities and Pulsar just take it to the next level.
Wow. Yeah.
So
That's
I had to
amazing.
put him
Well, why don't we
on.
search out a couple more games by him and see what you think of
Alrighty.
those?
So Last Will is another one.
We haven't played that one. You have that.
I don't anymore.
Jeff used to have that.
I used to have that. It just didn't get played for a while. Like I played it and then it didn't get played for a long time. And someone sent me like a trade request, so I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder. I thought I heard something about a new one. I'm pulling it up right now. Yeah, I can't pronounce this. Prega Caput Regini
That's his new
is
game.
a new one. Praga space Caput
Space Kaput.
CAPUTREGNI.
Wow.
But that's his new one. So again, I know that. Like I saw it and I was like, it's a Suchi game. I gotta look at
Yeah.
it.
Yep. Right.
Man, do you have any like honorable mentions?
Oh,
yeah.
do I? I'll just rattle off. I came up with 5. I really stopped at 10. I could have kept
Okay.
going forever.
Yep.
But my number 6 was Stefan Feld. 7 was Rainer Knizia. 8 was Antoine Bauza.
Oh, the Bowser.
9
Yeah,
was
good one.
Kiesling and Kramer. And 10 was Eric Lang.
Good one.
What is Eric Lang?
Eric Lang designs a lot. He designed Blood Rage. He designed Rising Sun. He designed Chaos in the Old World. He designed Cthulhu Death May Die.
yeah.
You know, the others.
Wait, what was the other one?
A lot of Simon.
He's a big dudes on a
You
map
said-
Yep.
game.
Yep.
What was it? Name them again.
Blood Rage.
No. The people.
Kiesling Kramer.
Stefan Feld, Rainer Knizia, Antoine Bauza,
Yeah, that one. Who does he design?
Ghost Stories, Seven
Seven
Wonders,
Wonders.
Seven Wonders Duel.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I was just curious.
Yeah. Okay. By Curious.
What are yours?
Rampage,
I mean, most
Takedo,
of mine were said.
Takanoko.
Takanoko.
The ones
Yeah,
that weren't
Takanoko.
already said by you guys are Kane, Clanko.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I mean, I had like Vlada Chvátil and Jamie Stegmaier and Reiner Knizia, but you guys already said those.
Yeah. One.
Kane
I
Franco, good one.
Kane on mine as well. Rudiger Dorn has like.
Yep, I thought about him too.
Amazing. Istanbul and
Yeah,
Goa,
Istanbul,
Karuba, Inca, Marcus Brand are great.
Good designers. For sure.
Village, all the exit games, Rajas of the Ganges.
Yeah. Oh, can I say one more?
Inca's also won. They also won a spiel some
Yep.
years ago, maybe 2. It might even. No, just one probably. Just
They were up for 2.
Village.
I think.
Village might have been nominated.
I don't think it
but
won.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Ooh, you found another
Oh
one?
yeah, I didn't say this one because I like the games and the other one's better. But I just wanted to make sure that Elizabeth Hargrave is on.
If
Her name is just out there for being a woman designer and
Yeah.
I mean Wingspan is one of the most popular games that came out.
I said a woman, Inca.
last year.
Inca's
Oh
a
yeah,
woman.
yeah.
Inca Brand.
But yes, if Mariposa steps up like Wingspan did, she's already on the map. But if Mariposa's is as good
Yeah.
as Wingspan or even in that category, she's gonna.
Yeah, she's made an impact.
She also
Yes.
designed Tussy Mussy.
Yes,
which
trust me,
came out in
people, and
between,
people like
people
that.
like
And
that
that's
a lot.
a small box.
Yeah,
size.
little
Yeah.
card game. Also, Andreas Stedding is one that I thought about putting on there as well, but he's got two that I love. Hansa Teutonica and Gugong were both Andreas
yeah.
Stedding games. So if he has if he comes out with some more, I don't know if he's been around for a long time. I'm not sure how many more he's got, but he was also an honorable.
Yeah, there's
mention for
some-
me.
What about Bill Eberly?
Some people.
I mean, I've only really played
Cosmic
Encounter.
Yeah, so he's only had like the one.
Yeah, and he designed that with like 6 other dudes.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So that's going to do it for us tonight, everybody. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Instagram at The Gamecasters or Mad Board Gamer. Both of those accounts serve us the show. We also have a Facebook group. You can just search Gamecasters. You'll find us there. You can also email us at thegamecasterspodcast@gmail.com. We also have a BGG guild that Natalie refuses to join, 3678. If you like the show, please consider giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen. That allows you to rate us no less than 5. All music for the show and every episode was produced by Jeremy Pete. If you enjoyed it and want some of your own for your next project, please email us to discuss. So, for Natalie and Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, I am Ryan, and you have been listening to The Gamecasters. Good night, everybody.
skin
While he
tight
drinks his
pantsuit.
Slurpees.
That's like this. That's like the nude. It's like nude colored, like nude colored pantsuit.
Yeah, it's flesh colored.
It's flesh color. It's like
And
Green
skin
Man.
tight.
Emperor's New Clothes. Yeah, it's Green Man.
It's Green Man, but flesh
Yep,
colored.
yep.
To just
Does he
make
look
it
like a
really
Barbie?
uncomfortable.
Naked Barbie.
Yeah, like a Ken
Yeah,
doll with a bulge.
but with no
though.
nipples.
There's a big
And
bulge too.
Yeah, there's a bulge.
Yeah.
And no nips.
It is weird that Jeff doesn't have nipples. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Well, the suit doesn't have
With his
nipples.
suit, I guess.
Does Ken have nipples?
Who? Oh,
Ken. I'm just talking about
Are you
Ken
thinking
and
Date Night
Barbie.
Dites friends? I knew she was.
Yeah.
Like, what? He
No.
just moved away. How do I know
Pizza
about his
that is
nipples?
too hot to eat probably has nipples.
Yeah, does he have
Okay,
nipples?
I can't vouch
Ken,
for it.
do you
but
have
I
nipples?
think he probably has nipples.
and the Barbie.
This is going at the end of the episode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
a good
sure it does.
question. I don't recall him having nipples. I think he doesn't.
You took out his clothes a lot?
Oh yeah.
Wait, what are we? Oh, we're talking about Ken the Barbie.
Barbie
Ken the
doll. Oh, now we're
Barbie.
back on Barbie
I don't
doll.
think he has nipples. I think he just has like the general like
Just like a peck.
shape
He has
of a
pecs.
peck.
Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a man.
A peck shape.
Yeah. Man.
It's like Barbie.
Does
I
Ken
got
have a
maybe.
bulge?
Not really.
Which Ken?
There's just like nothing there, kind of.
Oh, it's just like
no
it's just
bulge.
just a connector to put the legs on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. All right. Yeah.
That's what your penis is for.
He said, "Isn't that what ours is for?" Yeah. The penis is just a screw that screws into your pelvis that holds your legs together.
It doesn't even touch.
If
your
you
legs.
take the penis off, there's really like a connector in the middle and that connects to your legs.
Oh, like internally.
That's why if you crank on it, it gets hard.
Crank on it.
Yeah, my legs move when you crank on it.
Oh my god.
Okay, whenever you're ready, Jeff, go ahead and start us off with the...
Oh boy. Let me look. I'm gonna pull this up.
Welcome to the Instagram inbox. This is the Mad Board Gamer.
Remember when he was like Jeff the mosquito eater?
Do that.
Okay.
Come back and do that.
All right. How's your Noom going?
Good. So
Okay.
Noom is terrible. It
Okay.
doesn't do anything for me, but the calorie counting thing that I've been doing is
Okay.
awesome.
We-
So
we
you
kind of-
could
really
like
well.
maybe stop.
Yeah,
Noom
I'm
and
probably
just
just going to
keep
stop Noom and
Devin's
just
like
do what I'm doing.
Devin's doing really well with this thing.
Yeah.
With her little program.
Right.
That's
We've been
awesome.
sticking to this, and we've figured out some like awesome meals.
Yeah,
that-
to
Yeah.
make. So
I've
it's
lost 3 pounds because I've been doing it with him. I lost
Good.
right.
3 pounds.
think
Luckily, not in the butt or boobs.
Nice. Your measurements stayed the same. Yeah, I've probably lost like 2-3 pounds. Next week it
I'm-
might be 0. You know what
Of
I mean?
course,
That's just
of course.
how the
I'm
shit
pretty
goes.
sure Ryan's lost. He
but-
won't go on the scale, but I can tell he's lost some.
Right. Every
Yeah,
time we
yeah.
do it, she's like, it's a little smaller.
Only in the penis area.
She takes out her measurements. It's like when people measure their height on doors. She like has a little thing goes, ooh,
She's like, put it on the table.
Ryan, you've lost some weight, but you're down a centimeter in the pants.
I've definitely lost a little bit of girth. All right, go ahead.
Absolutely.
She said, absolutely, is that what she said?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Wait, what?
Girth is a penal thing.
Are you talking about his penis girth? Or are you talking about his girth?
Wait, you're saying I have
on.
girth?
Well, at least when you like trimmed out, you could like you can see all
I can,
of it.
I can see.
Yeah.
Hey, there's my girth.
Look at my girth.
He found it. Okay.
All right, Chud.
Let's go, Miss Munson.
Yeah.